She hides her real face from her own husband. He married her for that face. He has never once seen it. One slip and she loses everything. Now the cold man is falling for her. Plain secretary, stunning stranger, same woman. Every day he leans a little closer. What happens the day he finally sees her? Morning at the office, and the gossip is already going. A knot of coworkers swap the latest in low, delighted voices. Did you all hear about assistant manager Kim? The one who came back from vacation looking like somebody else entirely? One of them shrugs. If the work turned out well, good for her. Another gives it up grudgingly. Fine, yes, she does look better now. Then the circle turns toward I-Yeon. So what about you? Would you ever go under the knife? I-Yeon Yu keeps it short. She's not really interested in being pretty. That only winds them up. Come on, you're the vice president's secretary, and not some plain old vice president either. Looks, skill, the whole package. The least you could do is match him. Someone laughs that honestly, nobody would ever guess she works for a man like that. The sky cuts them off. One drop, then the whole gray weight of it coming down. Rain? Not a single umbrella between them, so they bolt for the building, shoes slapping wet pavement. They spill inside soaked, shaking water from their sleeves, and only then count heads. Where's I-Yeon? She just vanished. One of them waves it off. Forget her, don't bother looking. Soojin only told them to invite her to lunch, and they did. So what else are they supposed to do? Another drops her voice, and the kind face finally slips. Honestly, it's embarrassing enough just to be seen walking next to her. The title settles over the rain. Undercover Wife. Now it's I-Yeon's own voice, letting us in on the thing she keeps buried. She's pretty. She'll admit that much by most people's standards anyway. Delicate features. A tall frame, 5'7". People always noticed her. To some, that sounds like a gift. She has one question for them. If they'd lived what she lived, would they still call it that? Men trailing her down the street. A stranger's hand closing on her wrist out of nowhere. Somewhere along the line, her own face stopped belonging to her and turned into something she had to lug around. And then the one incident she still can't unsee, the one she won't name. After that, she made up her mind. She would disappear in plain sight, bury the very thing everyone kept telling her to show off. Glasses, plain clothes, head down. That's the secretary the office gets. Back at her desk, she checks the disguise in a little mirror, mutters perfect, tells herself it's time to get back to work. She steps into the hallway, rounds a corner, and walks straight into someone. A solid thud. Ouch. She's already bowing before she's done. Sorry, I didn't. Then she looks up. It's him. Vice President Do-hyun An. The word catches in her throat. Mr. An. He doesn't look the least bit annoyed. Ms. Yu, he says, good timing. I was just looking for you. She blinks. Me? What for? He only tilts his head toward his office. Let's chat for a bit. The door of the vice president's room clicks shut, and then nothing. He says nothing. She stands there while her thoughts trip over each other. Why isn't he saying anything? He's the one who dragged her in here to talk. The quiet stretches until she can hear her own pulse. Finally, he says her name. Ms. Yu. And then 4 words that pull the floor out from under her. Let's live together. Did you? What did you just say? What? He repeats it without a flicker, like he's reading off the weather. Let's live together, you and me. She grabs for something solid. She has no idea why he'd come out with a thing like that, but no thank you, she has no plans to get married, and springing a proposal on her like this, it's... He cuts her off. She's got it wrong. He's only suggesting they share a place. Not married, but living together? She can barely get it out. He spells it out, cool to the bone. They'll live together, but nothing like that. He's not after marriage, and he adds flatly he's not after her either. Then why, she demands, would he suddenly propose to her? Because, he says, she's the most suitable. The word just hangs there. Suitable for what? For what he wants. She pushes, suitable how, and his gaze runs over her in a way that makes her want to shrink an inch smaller. It's her face. The very thing she spent years smothering is the one thing he's after. She can hardly believe it. You really think my face is suitable? No pause at all. Yes. Then he says it a third time, like her answer is a formality he's already counting on. So let's live together. She built a whole life on a lie, and the one person who can never see it is her husband. Tonight, across the dinner table, his grandfather looks straight at her and asks if she's hiding something. Rewind. A boardroom, 3 years of desks pushed together, and a stack of paper that turns out not to be a deal memo. Do-hyun. Anne sits across from I-Yeon Yu and watches her gaze drift off somewhere past him, until she catches herself, jerks upright, and stammers an apology. He slides a contract over the table. Marriage, registration at the district office, the ceremony quietly skipped, a clean 2-year term. And one clause underlined harder than the rest. Neither party shall ever harbor illicit intentions toward the other. His pitch is pure business. 3 years working elbow to elbow, he says, so let's not waste breath comparing our views on love. They'll play the marriage the elders want, and both walk away with their freedom. That, he tells her, is the marriage they actually want. She picks up the pen. Do-hyun, Ann, and I-Yeon Yu. Husband and wife on paper. Present day. After work drinks and Soo-jin has her by the sleeve. One more, just one. I-Yeon keeps checking the door and Soo-jin clocks every glance. What's so special at home? Soo-jin needles. You've been off lately. Then her eyes go thin. Don't tell me you've got a man stashed in your place. I-Yeon sputters that it's ridiculous, which only widens Soo-jin's grin. Look at you squirm. There's a story here. Out with it. The light flips green and I-Yeon bolts mid-sentence, Soo-jin still shouting after her. Free at last, walking home, she lets herself preen. Home sweet home really is something special. A penthouse. Every single day. Heaven. Contract marriage, she thinks, was the best thing that ever happened to her. The mother who used to badger her about settling down has finally gone quiet. And the real prize, the one she'd trade anything to keep, freedom. A keypad chirps, the lock clicks, a staff member welcomes her home. She mumbles a goodnight, waits for them to disappear down the hall, and only then lets her shoulders drop. The whole thing runs on, keeping apart. Her floor is the second, Do-hyun's the first, their days carved down the middle so neatly they barely cross paths. Still, one roof means near misses, and just remembering them puts a hitch in her breath. Everything hangs on a single rule she cannot break. Do-hyun can never see who she really is. The day he does, all of this comes down. 4 months later, a car rolls up to a grand house and a doorman tells them the chairman is waiting for them both. Do-hyun climbs out, then turns back when she doesn't follow. What's the matter? He asks. She admits her hands won't keep still. That's not like you, he says. And then, after a pause, owns up that he's a bit rattled himself tonight, even though it's his own grandfather inside. Whatever sharp thing the old man throws, he says, it'll be aimed at me, not you. So don't worry. She manages a thin nod. They announce themselves. The chairman doesn't lift his eyes. I said, come by 6, says the head of Woo-sung Group and goes straight into it. Running a company is all about managing time. If you can't reach a family dinner on schedule, how do you expect to run a business? Do-hyun takes the blow for both of them. I-Yeon was ready early, he says. We ran late over an appointment of mine. My apologies. I-Yeon rushes in too, fumbling his name before she corrects it, insisting he was only being thoughtful and the lateness is hers alone. The old man's whole face softens the moment he turns to her. Good to see you, I-Yeon. Sit, you must be hungry. He's had the housekeeper braise the short ribs she liked last time, and she lights right up saying she's honestly been craving them. For one warm stretch, it almost passes for a real family at a real dinner. Then he sets down his chopsticks. So, when do we get to hear about grandchildren? The word stops her cold mid-bite. Grandchildren? 4 months married already, he goes on. He throws Do-hyun's own words back at him. That I-Yeon was the only woman he'd ever marry, that he'd registered the marriage without telling a soul and skipped the ceremony, and that he'd promised grandchildren straight away. We're working on it, Do-hyun says smoothly, every night, marveling to himself at how easily the lie slips out. Pushing I-Yeon any harder would be too much on her, he adds. The chairman lets it drop but repeats his standing order. Not a word about this marriage to anyone until there's a grandchild. But tell me, the old man says, and the table goes quiet. Do the two of you truly love each other? Of course, Do-hyun answers without a flicker. We married because we love each other. I see little warmth between you, the chairman says. That's why I ask. Do-hyun claims not to follow. The old man's voice drops low. I hate a liar more than anything, and you of all people know that. You watched what one woman's lie cost this family. Do-hyun's father breaks in, this isn't the table for that, and Do-hyun stands up for her flat out, says, I-Yeon isn't that kind of person, please. The chairman waves them both down. I wasn't asking either of you. He turns to her and says her name like a key sliding into a lock. I-Yeon, you'll answer me. Tell me. Is there anything you're lying to me about? And the woman whose entire life is one long lie has nowhere left to put her eyes but on his. She's built a whole life on one lie, and her best friend just asked if she's ready to watch it come apart. It starts at a family table, the kind where every smile is being measured. I-Yeon Yu sits across from the chairman of Woosung, the old man who decides who belongs in his family and who doesn't. Do-hyun An is beside her, her husband on paper, a stranger everywhere else. The room is quiet enough to hear a cup set down, and the chairman is in no hurry. Then he asks it outright. Do the two of you truly love each other? I-Yeon's mind goes blank. Love her? She'd have to try it first to know. With nowhere to hide, she settles on a plan. Picture the vice president and just talk. To be honest, she begins, if you ask whether it's love, I don't really know. The table tightens. She admits she's inexperienced, that she can't be sure this feeling even has that name. But being next to Do-hyun, she goes on, makes her want to be a better person. Hard to put into words, yet that is how she feels about him. The chairman lets the words sit. Ahem, I see. Then the verdict. That answer isn't enough. You may have won Do-hyun's heart, he tells her, but not mine. He'll be watching. Being the daughter-in-law of Woosung won't be easy. Yes, Grandpa, she catches herself a beat too late. Call me chairman, how dare you? He thunders. She stammers an apology while Do-hyun's own father waves his hands, begging the old man to settle. The whole performance somehow holds. Outside, the mask slips. A long breath and her legs simply give out. The nerves are gone, she says. So my knees just went weak. You did well, Do-hyun tells her. You have a way with words. She thanks him, caught off guard. But he doesn't let it go. Was what you said in there sincere? She opens her mouth, and nothing comes. Never mind, he says before she finds the rest. Go in and rest. The half answer hangs there, unfinished. Still, something in her wants to close the gap. You did a good job, Ms. Yu, he says, thanking her for clearing her schedule. Mr. An, she ventures, would you like to have dinner together? They'd agreed never to step into each other's lives. But there'll be more nights like this. It might be good to know each other, even a little. For a second, his face says yes. That's just what I was thinking. He nearly let slip. Maybe that'd be nice. Then he shuts the door on it. No, sorry, but we should stick to the contract. Better to avoid personal settings like that. Understood, she answers, and the warmth that almost arrived turns around and leaves. I'll be counting on you, Miss Yu, he says, already walking off. Get some rest. The door clicks behind him. Alone, she presses a hand to her chest. I knew it, she thinks. I shouldn't have brought it up. So she calls the one person who knows everything. At a coffee shop, Ha-Yul waves her over the second she walks in. I came as soon as you called, Ha-Yul says. I-Yeon thanks her, you're the best, but her friend reads her in a heartbeat. Your face is screaming worried. What happened? There's no hiding from you, I-Yeon admits and lets it out. I think this contract marriage is going to be exposed soon. She felt it the moment she sat across from the chairman. Ha-Yul ducks off for their coffee, then leans in. What's the matter? It's not as simple as keeping the contract, I-Yeon says. After meeting that man, she was sure he'd catch on any second. The chairman's sharp, sure, but the real trouble is that she and Do-hyun barely know each other. You can tell at a glance. Ha-Yul has an idea. The vice president's aloof, she's heard, but he's your husband now. Why not try talking to him? I-Yeon almost laughs. How? We don't even know when the other one leaves the house. Then be more proactive, Ha-Yul says. Or try seducing him. She backpedals at once, eyeing her friend's slumped shoulders. Not that you could pull that off right now, but still. I-Yeon shakes her head. Hard to do anything with someone who won't even eat or talk with you? Honestly, I'm starting to think it'd be better if this whole thing just blew up fast. Ha-Yul goes still. But what if it does, she says, and your mom finds out everything? The question lands where I-Yeon hadn't let herself look. Her mother spent this whole time pushing her to marry, then gushed about the perfect son-in-law who loves this version of her daughter. No regrets in life now, the woman had crowed. Bravo, my daughter. Imagine her finding out, Ha-Yul presses. How shocked would she be? My mom might pass out, I-Yeon murmurs. And it won't stop at your mom. Sit down. You told me your father-in-law adores you. The affection she's only just earned would turn into something else entirely. And what about your job? Ha-Yul keeps going, ticking them off. Your in-laws, your mom, even your career. When the truth comes out, your whole world will come crashing down. I-Yeon has no answer for that. Ha-Yul lets it settle, then meets her friend's eyes. So, she says, are you ready to start taking action? There it is, the question she's been dodging since the door shut. Stop waiting for the lie to fall apart and fight to make it real. A man and the woman he married on paper. Same apartment, same address, and not once have they sat at the same table. That changes tonight over a bottle of wine neither of them planned on. Do-hyun. Anne can't get 5 minutes of quiet at the office. Ji-Hoo Aeom waves the latest popularity poll in his face. Woo-Sung's golden boy came in second, and Ji-Hoo wants to know something the numbers don't measure. Chairman material, sure. But husband material? Do-hyun snaps back and Ji-Hoo refuses to drop it. Who proposed the contract marriage to Ms. Yu in the first place? Who saved him from a lifetime of being nagged about settling down? Me, that's who. By Ji-Hoo's count, Do-hyun owes him a bow and a thank you. Then the easy question. Is your wife a good cook? Do-hyun doesn't know. They've never eaten together, not once. And he says it like it's nothing. Ji-Hoo stares. You live under one roof and you've never shared a single meal? The ribbing sharpens into something closer to a warning. Keep this up and the grandfather will see right through it. How long can one woman hold up the whole charade by herself? Poor thing, Ji-Hoo says. Struggling on her own. Struggling on her own. The phrase won't let go of him. He'd spent every day drawing clean lines, telling himself that following the contract to the letter made him fair. Now a different thought sits there. Maybe he's been too busy with the rules to notice the woman who's actually been trying. He gets home late. Miss Yu is up, waiting. You're back late. I had plans, he says, and lets the door close on the conversation. The room between them stays as wide as it always is. But he's carrying something new tonight. Don't be intimidated, he tells himself. Be proactive. A man rehearsing a line he can barely say out loud. When it finally comes, it comes out crooked. Shall we try to get to know each other a bit? She stiffens. That kind of comment invites misunderstanding, she warns. Good night, he says, and bolts. Failed again. He gives himself one more shot. Ms. Yu? She turns. Yes? A breath, then the words land where he wanted them. So, I was thinking. The thing he kept almost saying finally becomes an actual invitation. On her end, I-Yeon Yu nearly floats out of her chair. Finally, dinner with the vice president. Then the snag. What does he even like to eat? Anything, he'd said, which is the worst possible answer to plan around. So she makes it a mission. Years at his side and she still barely knows the man. Here's her opening. She's so deep in it that Soojin's voice makes her jump. Just thinking about what Mr. An will want to eat. I-Yeon covers. Soojin sighs. So jealous she gets the handsome VP every day. Imagine how lucky his future wife will be. I-Yeon, who is exactly that wife, asks it carefully. Do you really think a woman married to him could be happy? He's not the easiest man, Soojin admits, but maybe there's a reason for it. A painful past. And then her voice drops into rumor. Back when Do-hyun was still in elementary school, his mother died at the scene of a car crash. There was another man in the car with her. People say the two of them were involved. Woo-sung buried it so deep nobody knows for certain, only the whisper that still trails behind him. If it were me, Sujin says, I'd never trust a woman again. I-Yeon turns it over and over. Then an old line from the chairman drops into place. You saw how much damage one woman's lie did to this family. If any of the rumor is true, the cold man she married has been carrying that since he was a boy. He must have had a terrible time of it. His message arrives. Come home, Ms. Yu. Home. She reads it twice. Not a restaurant? She hurries back and there he is in the doorway. You're back, right on time. In her hands, a teddy bear, faintly ridiculous between two people pretending they don't care. And she's cooked. He said anything. And the daughter of a restaurant owner doesn't need a reservation to feed somebody. No need to go out, she beams. I didn't know you could cook, he says, and it almost sounds like warmth. He's holding something too. A bottle of wine, a gift from a client. Shall we have it with the food? I am sure they'll go well together. And as the glasses fill, I-Yeon lets herself want one thing. That with a little wine on the table, the two of them might finally talk like their marriage has never once let them. He carries his sleeping wife down to the guest room and lowers her onto the bed. Then he leans in and stops. Her freckles. There are fewer of them than there were this morning. The face he married is not the face on the pillow. Hours earlier, the apartment is warm and the table is set, and for once, the contract marriage looks like the real thing. Do-hyun takes a bite and his guard slips. It's good, he says. Better than the housekeeper's. I-Yeon ducks her head and you can see how rarely anyone says a kind word to her. Then he spots the bandage on her hand. She waves it off. It's been a while since she cooked for anyone, so she got careless. A little ointment and it's nothing. She makes it sound like nothing. It's the price of trying to be a real wife to a man she married only on paper. He sets down his chopsticks. He's been thinking it over, he tells her, and she was right. If they're keeping this arrangement, they should actually know each other. So he'll go first. He starts small and a little ridiculous. His favorite food is army stew. She laughs, caught off guard. She had him pegged for fancy restaurants and pasta twirled on a fork. That's just prejudice, he says, playing wounded. He pours the wine. She used to drink, she admits, back in her 20s. He didn't think she was the type and she fires it straight back at him. Prejudice again. For a moment, there are only two people at a table, trading jabs and grinning. Then he asks the thing that takes the floor out from under her. He's always wondered, why does she wear clothes that don't fit? She's not like the other women at the office. It's almost, he says carefully, like she's hiding something. The smile goes out of her face. She picks at her sleeve and hands him half a truth. She hates being looked at. So she's shy about being seen? No, too fast that. It's not that. She's not shy, she just can't have eyes resting on her, and she can't say why. His voice drops. I-Yeon, he says, using her name. She's even lovelier tonight. He fell for her the moment he saw her. A face that pretty steals a man's heart. It should land like a compliment. Instead, her grip closes hard around her glass because that face is the one thing about her that isn't real. Everyone has a past they'd rather not talk about, he says, and tops up her glass. She's a mystery to him. He doesn't know what she's keeping back. But he's her husband on paper, and whenever she's ready, if she ever is, she can tell him. It's the gentlest possible offer. It's also the one thing she can never take him up on. Get a grip, she tells herself. Out loud, she stalls. Does he really need every little detail? Fair enough, he says and lets it go. Then he studies her up close and tilts his head. Did she always have so few freckles? She goes very still. He catches himself and apologizes. Never mind, that was rude. Her thoughts scatter. She was so busy cooking she forgot to touch up her makeup. And the disguise is wearing thin. She's been at this table too long and he almost saw under it. She excuses herself for the restroom and pushes back from her chair to fix the face before it slips for good. But the room swings. The wine she swore she could handle arrives all at once. The floor tips up toward her, and she folds before she reaches the door. Do-hyun is already out of his chair, Ms. Yu catching her on the way down. You said you could drink, he murmurs, half a laugh, half worry. In her 20s, she'd told him. No answer comes. Out cold against him, she's finally let her guard all the way down. He decides to move her to the guest room downstairs. He sets her on the bed, and there, with her face slack and inches from his, he sees it plainly. Her freckles. Fewer than usual, he's sure of it now. His hand drifts toward her sleeping face, and the thing she has spent every waking hour covering is suddenly close enough to touch. The morning after, and Do-hyun. Anne keeps circling back to the one thing he did with his eyes closed and his guard down. The woman it happened to has no idea. The office finds its rhythm again. I-Yeon Yu sets a stack in his hands, planning team documents for his signature, and the driver's already on standby for his afternoon meeting across town. He takes them without looking up, says he'll get to it. Flat, correct, every word exactly like the man. She lingers at the edge of his desk. Did something happen yesterday? She got up to use the bathroom, she says, and after that, nothing. She woke in the first-floor guest room with no idea how she got there. Nothing happened. His eyes go back to the page. She was too drunk to manage the stairs, so he left her downstairs. Too heavy, he adds, to haul up to the second floor. She laughs, says she'd better get back to work, and slips out. The door clicks shut. He doesn't move. Of course something happened. And it comes back to him whole. I-Yeon Yu asleep, his own face tipping closer than it had any business going, close enough to feel her breath. He'd kissed her. A clumsy, half-asleep press of his mouth while she slept right through it. Now, sober and wide awake, he grills himself like a stranger he caught doing it. Why? His hand goes to a chest that won't settle. His body moved on its own, that's the line he tries. Blame the alcohol. He turns the excuse over and it won't hold. Then the real question surfaces, the one he was avoiding. Did he just want to look at her face a little longer? Back at her desk, the day grinds on. Ms. Kang looks I-Yeon Yu up and down and asks, "Isn't that the same suit as yesterday?" "Buy something that fits," she says. "Learn your own size." Not the same suit, I-Yeon Yu fires back. Yesterday was beige, today is medium brown, clearly different shades, so maybe Ms. Kang's the one who can't tell colors apart. It lands. The older woman scrambles for footing and mutters that they all look like dad suits anyway. Then, she's got something to report to Mr. An. He's in there, right? And she's already through the door, knocking on the way in. Why knock at all? Ms. Kang grumbles, when you're halfway inside. The coworkers trade a glance. The second she's in front of Mr. An, she goes all baby-voiced. And it's not new, she's always pulled this. Just somehow harder to stomach today. Evening, and the office thins out. Someone calls after her, "Eaten yet?" Your jacket's still here, but she's already drifting toward the stairs miles away and goes up without it. Lights off. Did she head out again? The building goes still. Upstairs, no one watching, I-Yeon Yu lets the office face drop. And the room gives her away. An elephant, framed across the walls, every part of it hung on its own, a piece here, a piece there. She stretches, yawns, melts into being alone. Then a knock, footsteps, a voice in the last place she expects one. Do-hyun An on the second floor, holding the jacket she forgot downstairs. She goes rigid, grabbing for cover, but his eyes have already slid past her to the wall. "Don't worry," he says, dry as ever. "Your lack of clothes isn't my concern." "Then what is?" she asks. "The elephant." "The elephant pictures," he means. Every part of it framed separately. Cornered, she insists it's just decor. Isn't it cute? Almost a smile from him. Here he'd assumed she had some strange hobby. He puts the jacket on the chair and turns for the door. She thanks him, then takes the small, honest risk. Him coming up here unannounced is a bit much. He stops. "You're right," he says, low. "Sorry, Ms. Yu, he was heading down anyway. Rest well, see you tomorrow." Gone. Alone, she slides down against the door. That was close. One more second and he'd have seen the I-Yeon Yu she never lets him see. He keeps his distance, always. She'd never once pictured him climbing to the second floor. The elephant settles back into its frames, and the thought follows him down the stairs. The closer they get, the harder this is to hold together. The vice president of one of the country's biggest corporations slides a dinner reservation across his desk. "Book it for 2, he tells his plain, frumpy assistant. "Under your own name." It starts over kimchi stew. Mr. Park chewed I-Yeon Yu out again. So Soojin hauls her to their usual place and promises they'll eat their way back to good spirits. Spoons up, both of them laughing, starved. And then the door swings, and in walk the exact people they came here to avoid. The office women, the glossy ones who look straight through I-Yeon like she's part of the furniture. A clipped hello, a colder goodbye, and I-Yeon sets her spoon down. There goes the meal. They don't bother whispering. Who shows up dressed like that? Doesn't the company screen for this? She works for the man, shouldn't she care what she does to his name? If she's plain, fine, but she could throw on some makeup, try something, anything. Every line is pitched to carry across the room. It carries. One of them leans in, mouth curling. She must be embarrassed to even stand beside him, dragging him down just by being in the frame. The murmuring keeps stacking up, sharp and well-practiced. Soojin's grip whitens around her chopsticks. Those jerks have gone too far. But I-Yeon just gives a small shake of the head. I'm fine, Soojin. Not one word of it has landed on her. How are you fine? Soojin can barely keep in her seat. Just hearing it sets her blood going. And I-Yeon answers the only way she ever does, looking like this was her own call. She walked in knowing the price. You think this is the first time I've heard it? She says. Tuning them out cost her less than the alternative. Soojin throws up her hands. You're impossible. She'd send the whole table flying if I-Yeon weren't sitting right there keeping her still. So she swallows it and tells her to eat. And under that drab cardigan, there's a different woman entirely. The real one, folded out of sight, kept there on purpose. The talk turns to a face that's been everywhere lately. Hui Ra-jeong, top-tier actress, mid-campaign for the cosmetics line Sarah, ads and dramas stacked back-to-back, the hottest name going. And riding shotgun with the fame, the rumor that she'll end up married to the vice president. They turn it over like it's already done. She isn't just any celebrity, she's the woman half the country wants. Do-hyun-an is a man like any other. A flawless, perfectly kept actress keeps chasing him, who holds out forever. And he's no ordinary catch himself. To stand level with him, you'd have to be someone exactly like her. I-Yeon catches every word. Cut to the woman in question. Studio lights, a fan lifting her hair, Hui Ra-jeong lit up like a flame. The crew falling over themselves, she's glowing. The feminine angle is perfect for the concept. She waves the praise off and drinks every drop of it. The director calls a break. The polish drops the instant the cameras do. Hui Ra drags her manager Jisoo outside. Urgent, she says. Urgent means the cigarette she's been craving, lit before they're even through the door. You have any idea how draining it is, working a room full of old men? She snaps. Jisoo already knows what the smoking is really about. This about that guy again? That cracks her open. He's running her ragged. She misses him so much she could die. Jisoo hushes her, eyes darting to who's nearby, but Hui Ra's well past caring who hears. You know how it goes, she says, quieter now. She calls. He answers maybe one time in 10. If she didn't turn up at his door herself, she'd know nothing about his life at all. Jisoo reaches for the gentle version. The London shoot ran over, you've been overseas for weeks, and he runs a giant company. Of course he's swamped. None of it sticks. That won't make me quit, Hui Ra says. Let him push her off all he likes. She'll follow him to the ends of the earth. The most wanted woman in the country, pleading with a man who barely picks up. And the man who barely picks up? Do-hyun-an, alone in the vice president's office. Empty floor, late hour, the city going amber past the glass. Tonight, something sits differently with him. He lifts the line to the hotel restaurant, the one at J Hotel, turning a dinner over in his head. A private room, the particulars. Then he buzzes the desk. Step in a moment, Ms. Yu. I-Yeon comes in. You called for me? Nothing major, he says, easy as anything. Just booked dinner for tonight, 7 o'clock, the hotel restaurant. Same as always. Her pen is already moving. A private room, she confirms. For how many? No, he says, a room would feel stiff. A table by the window, for 2. She writes it down without a blink. The window seats at J Hotel, the spot packed with couples these days. then the part her pen won't move for. Book it under your name, he says. Yes, sir, out on reflex before it catches up with her. Wait, Mr. Ann, did you say my name? Yes, he says, and he doesn't look away. Are you free this evening? To have dinner? With me. At the J Hotel restaurant. The man every headline marries off to an actress is asking the woman they all snicker at to sit across the table. And she has no idea what her own face is supposed to do. She keeps telling herself it isn't a date. Then why does she try on 3 outfits before she'll let herself walk out the door? I-Yeon Yu is gathering her things at the office when a coworker reads her face. You look different today, the woman says. Something good happen? I-Yeon goes still and plays dumb. The coworker's grin widens. Off to meet your boyfriend? No, I-Yeon says, a beat too fast and a notch too loud. He's a man, fine, but he isn't her boyfriend, and it is absolutely not a date. So, a guy friend? Is that the word you youngsters use now? I-Yeon is already edging toward the door. She waves it off, promises she'll see her tomorrow, and slips out before her cheeks finish the sentence for her. A date. As if. She turns the words over the whole way there as though repetition could make them true. The arrangement is simple enough. Dinner, learn a few things about each other, keep it businesslike. They both agreed to it. But somewhere between her desk and this street, it has started to feel like stepping onto thin ice. So she draws her lines. Stay back. Trade what they each need to know, nothing past that, and she'll come out of it unscathed. Then she spots him, and so does the rest of the room. Heads swivel across the restaurant. A murmur passes table to table. Look at that guy, is he an actor? Do-hyun. Anne sits there waiting, pulling every eye in the place toward him, and her tidy little set of rules suddenly looks paper thin. Sorry I'm late, he says. Director Jang called. He frets that she's been sitting here hungry and tells her she should have ordered without him. She swears she only just arrived herself. The food comes, and they settle into the game they agreed to play. So, he asks, what do you actually know about me outside of work? I-Yeon takes the bait. He likes army stew. He's quiet, runs a little dry. And one curious detail, she adds, the corner of her mouth tugging. You're into elephants. He all but tips the table over, insisting that was a misunderstanding. Then he turns it around. And me? What do you know about me? She opens her mouth, closes it, hums. You can just say you don't know, he offers. Honestly, she admits nothing's coming to mind. Then tell me, he says. From here on, tell me about yourself, and I'll do my best to hold on to it. Where would she even start? Family, he suggests. She rolls her glass slowly between her palms and begins. Her father came home late as far back as she can remember, always swallowed by work. And her mother. The thread tugs them somewhere else entirely. A small boy holds a drawing up over his head. Mommy, look, I made this at school. This is you, and this is... She tells him he did well, but her hand is already on her coat. Do-hyun, Mommy has somewhere to be tonight. Eat with the housekeeper, mind the house until Daddy's home. The door closes behind her with a click. The boy stays at the door long after she's gone. Mommy, he says to the empty hall. Mommy! The house gives nothing back. He decides she must have been busy the way his father was always busy. The boy becomes a man, and somewhere under the calm, he still carries the knot where a good night should have been. It is the one thing that makes Do-hyun look like he might come apart. Back at the table, the wine arrives. Glass? He asks. Yes, he says, then warns her, mild as anything, not to overdo it like last time. This isn't home. Of course not, she says. Never again. But the whispers have trailed them here too. Are they dating? No chance, rules a voice nearby. He's way out of her league, unless she's secretly rich. Rich? Her? The two of them swap a look. Are those people talking about us? She waits for him to side with the room. He doesn't dress it up. To outsiders, sure, there's a gap between us, he says. People ought to mind their own business. Then he leans in, lower. Ms. Yu, for the record, don't let that talk land on you. Whatever you look like from the outside, I propose to you because you're diligent, because you take your work seriously. That snags on something in her. So does that mean, she tests, picking each word up carefully, it doesn't matter to you what I looked like? The question sits in the air a beat past where she meant to leave it. He looks at her. When you put it that way, he says, slowly now. Do you have another side I don't know about? She laughs, far too brightly. No, none at all. Afterward, he drives her home. She thanks him for the meal, and he tells her, easy and warm, that he liked watching her enjoy it. She wants to slide under the seat. Confesses she ate so much her stomach's poking out, then catches herself shrinking over it. What's wrong with eating plenty when it's that good? Then the car jerks. He brakes hard, apologizes, a cat shot across the road. You two all right? He asks. She starts to say she's fine, and stops. Her hand drifts up to her own face. Her breathing turns ragged. What? The one thing every careful rule was built to guard? The line she swore she'd never let slip with him. The jolt has shaken it loose right there in the passenger seat. Huh? Do-hyun turns toward her, and for the first time all night the calm slides clean off his face. What the heck? She built a whole life on one sentence Do-hyun once said to a stranger on a rooftop. Tonight she comes to collect on it, and I-Yeon is standing exactly where she wants to stand. It starts with a hand that shouldn't be there. I-Yeon Yu wakes pressed against Do-hyun An, his palm flat on her stomach, and one word loops in her head until it stops meaning anything. Why? Why is Mr. An's hand on me? He jerks back, mumbling an apology. He was only trying to avoid another area, he says, then stops himself cold. Something has caught him off guard. She pushes, he won't finish it. Never mind. Forget it. He turns away before she can read his face, and she's left holding half a sentence she'll chew on all day. Back at the office, I-Yeon takes a call at her desk, and the warning rides the elevator up ahead of the woman herself. Hui-ra Jung is already on her way to the secretary's floor. And there she is. Polished, unhurried, certain the room belongs to her. It's been a while, Ms. Yu. I-Yeon answers like a professional while she clocks how fast this woman moves. Hui-ra wants Do-hyun now. I-Yeon offers to announce her. Hui-ra waves it off the way people do when rules are for other people. She doesn't need his permission. They're closer than that. And before anyone can stop her, she shoulders through his door, calling his name like she owns the sound of it. Inside, Do-hyun hangs up the second she walks in. His voice flattens. Why are you here again? It isn't a welcome, and Hui-ra hears it and decides not to. He's being mean, she says. He'll hurt her feelings talking like that? Then the real grievance spills. Do you know how many times I tried to reach you? How could you ignore me? He stays level. He's busy. He doesn't check his phone. Showing up unannounced isn't okay. Every answer is a door easing shut in her face. So she swings at what's actually eating her. Is there another woman? He bats it back. What does that have to do with you? He won't deny it, and she's on the gap before it closes. You didn't even say no. Do you really have someone else, do you? And the question knocks something loose. The office drops away, and she's somewhere younger with one line of defense already gone. You can't keep doing this, Do-hyun says, holding her by the shoulders. You know I only have you, she answers. And it isn't a line anymore. It's the thing she stands on. Then she takes him back to the rooftop. Her mother spent a whole life soaking up her father's fists, and in the end she walked out on her own and took the last shelter Hui-ra had with her. With nothing left to lose, Hui-ra climbed to the edge. A boy looked up at her from below. What are you doing up there? He asked again when she didn't move. Those flat, almost bored words are what pulled her back over the rail. You saved me, Do-hyun, she tells him now. Do you know what you mean to me? He hears the weight of it and steps out from under it. I get it, I'm sorry, let go of me. Then she names what she's really circling. Next week is that day, isn't it? Are you taking me with you this time? No, he says. You can't. Not cruel, but a wall, and a wall around something private enough that even she stays outside it. She caves. Okay, if that's how you feel. She pulls herself together. Pick up when I call, she says, like someone rationing the last of something. On her way out, Hui-ra finds I-Yeon again and swaps masks in a blink suite now, conspiratorial. You know how much I like you, right? She nearly fell over when she heard Do-hyun had a female secretary. Everyone knows the stories about pretty secretaries and their bosses, but she's so glad I-Yeon doesn't seem the type. Is that an insult or a compliment? I-Yeon manages. Hui-ra doesn't care which. Does Do-hyun have another woman? She asks, watching I-Yeon's face for the smallest twitch. Woman's intuition, she says. You're his secretary, you'd know. I-Yeon plays it blank. I don't know. I'm not sure, but Hui-ra has already filed her away as useful. If you ever see some woman sniffing around him, tell me. Please, I'm counting on you, Ms. Yu. Then she's gone in a wake of perfume, and I-Yeon is left wrung out at her desk, holding a secret nobody asked her to carry. And once the floor goes quiet, I-Yeon catches on something small. A strategy meeting sits on the calendar at 3, but it's the date beside it that hooks her. One day Mr. An rings every single year. He never books anything around it. He quietly clears it off year after year. The same day Hui-ra begged him to finally bring her along, the one place neither woman is allowed to follow him. Next week, I-Yeon will be the one who finds out what he's been guarding. He tells her his mother looks just like her. Then his face shuts, and the door of it closes before she can even smile. Morning settles over the penthouse. I-Yeon Yu watches Do-hyun An cross the rooms with his shoulders set low, like he's carrying something he won't put down, and she keeps circling the same question without landing on it. A date he won't name, a mood he won't explain. She wonders if today is the anniversary of his mother's passing, and the second the thought forms, asking it out loud feels like reaching for a door that was never hers to open. An alarm cuts in. The screen reads July 11th, Monday. The word anniversary printed plainly under the time. He kills it on the first ring, already certain where the day is taking him. No flicker of surprise, just the face of a man who has marked this date every year and never once made peace with it. He's at the door, coat on, when she catches him. Take me too, she says. He turns, thrown, and asks where she even thinks he's going. So she says it straight. He's going to the columbarium to visit his mother. How could you know that? He asks. She admits she saw his calendar and guessed the rest. I know I'm overstepping, she presses, but right now I'm her daughter-in-law. He turns it back on her like a blade. Then you know you're overstepping. And that woman, he says, was never someone who'd welcome a daughter-in-law's greeting. He'll go alone. She finds the one argument he can't wave off. If the chairman ever hears that his wife skipped her mother-in-law's Memorial Day, he'll find it strange. He'll start asking questions. Anne stops. It isn't softness that turns him around, it's the cover story that holds their whole arrangement upright. He looks at her a long moment, then asks if she's ready. She is. The drive pulls them out of the city, and the columbarium is nothing like she pictured. Past the public halls, a hidden door swings open onto a space that barely seems to belong to the same building, hushed and grand and kept entirely for the Woo-sung family. Whoa, she breathes, taking in a place this private tucked inside something so ordinary. They stop at a single plaque. The late Mi-jung Lee. So this is your mother, I-Yeon says, studying the portrait. She looks a lot like you. The words are barely out before his voice goes flat. Don't ever say that again. It makes my skin crawl. She pulls back, apologizing, and he keeps his eyes fixed on the photograph of a woman he can't bring himself to forgive. Then he tells her why. Since he was a boy, that woman lived recklessly, without shame, and left nothing behind but ruin for the family when she died. He hates himself enough just for being her son, he says. I-Yeon doesn't have to carry that too, not for the sake of some title. She stands beside him and keeps her mouth shut. What could she possibly say about a woman he hasn't managed to forgive himself? Still, she does the one thing she came to do. We said our hellos, he says. Let's go. But she's already reaching into her bag, and that stops him. In her hand sits a flower arrangement, fresh blooms chosen so she wouldn't show up empty-handed to a first meeting. Maybe his mother wouldn't care about a daughter-in-law's greeting, she allows, handing his own warning back to him gently. So maybe he should be the one to give them to her. He stares at the flowers like they're a thing he can't name. Why treat this like it matters, he asks, And then, plainly, he tells her he has no intention of giving this woman flowers at all. But since they came from you, he says, thank you. The edge slips just for a beat. Then he notices something else, that he's never seen this outfit on her before. It's her first visit, she explains, so she couldn't just throw on anything. She wanted to look right for it. And she thanks him again, quietly, for letting her come along. His pulse climbs loud enough that the panels seem to knock with it. Yes, he gets out, and then, the next words leave him before he can stop them. You look nice today. She goes still. Uh-huh. The two of them just stand there, the space between them suddenly full of everything neither one has said. A sharp crack breaks it, and Yeon jumps. Ah, that got me. She laughs, scrambling to cover the heat climbing her face. What was that? But she can't shake the moment that just passed between them. The way the air felt a second ago, she thinks, watching the man who paid his respects to a mother he despised, and then, almost without meaning to, told his fake wife she looked beautiful. I-Yeon Yu spends the whole walk home thanking a man who, before the day is out, her best friend will decide to expose in front of a room full of strangers. It starts shy. I-Yeon and Do-hyun. Anne are coming back from somewhere that meant something to her, and she keeps circling to the same words. Thank you for letting me come today. He shakes his head. No, thank you. You went all that way with me. Then it's settled, easy as anything. See you tomorrow. He half turns to go and she stops him. Ms. Yu. Yes, she says, too quick. Did you want to say something? She does. She trips over the first sound, then gets it out anyway. Thank you for coming with me. His ears go red and he insists it was her who gave him permission in the first place. He really should get going, he says. His legs have gone soft on him. He was more wound up today than he let on. See you tomorrow. And he walks off still holding what he carried over for her, an arrangement of specially treated fresh flowers, because it was his first time visiting, and he couldn't show up with empty hands. Wake up, Do-hyun, he tells himself on the street, like a man trying to get his own pulse to behave. A phone buzzes. Ha-Yul is parked outside the company, waving I-Yeon down to the cafe. When I-Yeon gets there, Ha-Yul flags her over and apologizes for the ambush, says it was too tangled to do over the phone. I-Yeon, still catching her breath, asks what's going on. The only drama in her life, Ha-Yul jokes, is family drama. Then the joke runs out. She hates being a daughter of the Yongsin family, South Korea's biggest food company. She grew up with no father, just her mother, and only learned the truth after her mother died in an accident. Her father was the vice chairman of Yongsin Holdings. He took her in, sat her in an executive's chair, and the family handed her a second title to wear, illegitimate child. That one never stopped cutting. Now there's a slush fund mess building inside Yongsin, and Ha-Yul is sure they plan to use her to bury it. Use you how? I-Yeon asks. Ha-Yul drops her voice. First the headlines, she says, Yongsin's mysterious youngest daughter finally steps out in public, and then they'll march her to some VIP party to play the role. So, friend to friend, the ask, save me. I-Yeon laughs. How am I supposed to save you? Come to the party with me, Ha-Yul says. Are you out of your mind? I-Yeon shoots back. Why would I walk into a Yongsin party when I have nothing to do with them? Ha-Yul turns on the tears. Please, just 3 hours. Then comes the part that drops the floor out from under I-Yeon. Not in this look. Come as your true face. That's even riskier, I-Yeon protests. Not even a little, Ha-Yul insists. Who could ever match that face to this one? Nobody will know, I swear it, so you're in, right? I-Yeon is still sputtering, backed into the corner of the booth when a shadow falls over the table. Mr. An? It's Do-hyun, standing there like she summoned him. What brings you here? She manages. I came to buy coffee, he says. What else would I be doing? Oh, right, of course. Is there something on my face? He asks since she keeps staring. No, she says and looks away. His eyes move to the stranger across from her. And who's this? Not from our company, is she? The stranger puts out a hand. Hello, I'm Ha-Yul, I-Yeon's friend. I've heard a lot about you. He hands back the buttoned-up version of himself. Vice President of Wooseong Card, Do-Hyun An, nice to meet you. Then I-Yeon leans in to put him at ease. Ha-Yul is my closest friend. She's the only one who knows about us. You can trust her, she'd never let our secret slip. Ha-Yul, pleased with herself, adds that she knows most of I-Yeon's secrets anyway. He doesn't thaw. He pulls back into all business and apologizes flatly for cutting in. Get me my usual, he tells I-Yeon, handing it off like a chore. Yes, sir, she says. Well then, continue your talk and he's gone. Thanks, goodbye. Ha-Yul watches the door swing shut and turns slowly. What was that just now? Oh, that, Yeon shrugs. He's buying our drinks and wants me to grab his too. No, Ha-Yul says. I mean, does he always draw a line like that? He was a bit extreme today, I-Yeon admits, but yeah, pretty much always. Ha-Yul's face hardens. That's not good. That's really. Then she remembers what her friend signed up for. It's only a contract marriage. I-Yeon says. What? She got married to be treated like this, Ha-Yul thinks, where I-Yeon can't hear it. I only backed this whole thing because I figured it would turn into a real marriage, Ha-Yul tells herself. She watches I-Yeon happily debate what little gift to grab for the man who just spoke to her like staff. 8 years and still letting the past run her life. So Ha-Yul makes up her mind. As her friend, she swears it. I'll rip that wig off myself at the VIP event, and Do-Hyun. Anne won't be able to look away. She laughs to herself. Across the table, I-Yeon is still stuck on the coffee order. 3 hours, one true face, one best friend about to tear the cover wide open. She came here to disappear into the crowd. Instead, she's about to be standing in the middle of his world, holding his dog, while the one man who could unravel everything looks her dead in the face. Morning at Wooseong Card. The phone rings before I-Yeon Yu has even sat down, and it's Do-Hyun An, checking again that she hasn't forgotten tonight's Yongsin VIP party. How many times is he going to ask? She's going. He's got a vendor dinner of his own and will probably head straight there, might run late so she shouldn't wait up, just go home when she's done. Fine, she says, and hangs up. Then she catches the clock and realizes she'd better move. The day doesn't start at home, though. She's been dragged to a salon and she's not happy about it. She could pull something from her own closet, do her own face. What's the difference? Plenty, her friend tells her. This is a Yongsin event. Yongsin's own people get ready right here, hair and outfit and makeup, then walk straight out the door. A kitchen mirror doesn't cut it. Director Mi-Yeon Jung welcomes her in and reaches for the shampoo. I-Yeon lowers her voice and admits, a little awkward, that she wears a wig for personal reasons, that the hair underneath might be a mess. The director just laughs it off. The wig's so natural she never would have guessed. Then comes the odd request. Could you take my makeup off too? The director blinks. She'd assumed there wasn't any to take off. I-Yeon shrugs. She does the opposite of everyone in here. She isn't trying to look better. The director reaches for the cleansing foam and keeps the thought to herself. What kind of person walks in asking to be made plainer? The chair spins around and Ha-Yul stops mid-sentence. There she is, the friend says. This is the I-Yeon Yu I know. I-Yeon can't quite meet her eyes. She doesn't look weird, does she? If you look weird, Ha-Yul fires back. What does that make me? Can they go a little later? She's not ready for this. No, move, they're already late. The venue swallows them whole. Foreigners everywhere, celebrities she's only ever seen on a screen. It's like stepping onto another planet, she breathes. Ha-Yul tugs her back down, scanning the room, muttering, "Where is he?" Who's so important? I-Yeon asks. The only thing that matters, Ha-Yul says without looking at her, is that you're right next to me, so don't wander off. I-Yeon promises she'll stick close. But Ha-Yul keeps craning her neck, sweeping the crowd. Are you looking for someone? I-Yeon starts to ask. Ha-Yul's whole face lights up. Found him. She clamps onto I-Yeon's wrist and yanks, the two of them carving through the crowd so fast they nearly bowl poor director Jong clean over. Have you lost your mind? I-Yeon hisses, but Ha-Yul only says follow me and grips tighter. Then I-Yeon sees who they're aimed at and her feet go heavy under her. Ha-Yul, you're actually doing this. Ha-Yul plants herself in front of a man and says hello like she's rehearsed it for a week. It's Do-Hyun An, vice president of Woosungkard, her husband on paper. Ha-Yul reminds him who she is, I-Yeon's friend, the one he met at the cafe. Ha-Yul Lim. He remembers, greets her warmly. His own friend steps in to introduce himself. Jae-ha Kim. Glad you remembered me, Ha-Yul beams. Half a step behind them, I-Yeon is already mapping the quickest way out the door. No such luck. Ha-Yul throws an arm around her, this is my closest friend, and shoves her forward into the light. Too close. At this rate, if he recognizes her. Do-Hyun turns to look at the woman beside his coworker's friend. And nothing happens. He greets her with a pleasant, distant hello, not a flicker of recognition behind it. He has no idea who she is. He says he comes to these Yongsin parties with Ha-Yul all the time, but has never once seen her. Is she the new Yongsin model this season? Or someone who hasn't debuted yet? And if it isn't rude, might he ask her name? Her mouth moves before her brain catches up. My name is, she begins, I-Yeon. And the truth is halfway out before she snatches it back. I-Yeon? No, I-Yeon, And she's not a model. Inside, she's spinning. She nearly handed him her real name in his own party. He says it back to her, gentle. Ms. Yeon, Nice to meet you. Not a model after all, his friend says. Sorry, she's just got the look for it. Do-Hyun laughs along, then apologizes. He's got reporters waiting on an interview. And then he does the one thing that nearly finishes her off. Would you mind holding this sweet puppy for a bit? He sets the little dog straight into I-Yeon's arms. Why does he keep doing this? Ha-Yul protests. Is it on purpose? How can he trust them with it? Something about Mr. An, he says easily, just makes him feel he can. Thanks. He walks off into the camera flashes with one last cheerful take good care of him and leaves her there, holding his dog under his own roof, a woman he just greeted like a total stranger an hour after he greeted his wife on the phone. The puppy squirms, twists, and nips, and she yelps, ouch, the cover she came here to keep wriggling warm against her chest. He stands close enough to count her eyelashes, hunting her face for where he's seen it. I-Yeon Yu keeps her breathing even, telling herself she isn't the woman who shares his bed. The party glitters on. She moves through it in borrowed glamour, a stranger's name on her chest, working a room she was never meant to enter. Tonight she is someone else, and nobody is the wiser. Then the crowd shoves her off balance and she stumbles into Do-Hyun An. The apology is out before she can stop it. Someone laughs it off. She got pushed, lighten up. It's fine, he says. This close, his gaze settles on her and slides off. Nothing catches. The man she wakes up next to looks through the face he sees every morning and her heartbeat slams against the borrowed name. One guest won't drop it. The more I look at you, Yoni, the more familiar you seem. Sure you're not a model? I-Yeon Yu laughs too high. Really, I'm not. It spreads. Doesn't she look familiar to you too? Even the voice, I swear I've heard it somewhere. Can't be sure over the noise, but I never forget a face. Each line pulls the knot tighter. There's no way, she insists. I've never laid eyes on any of you. Then her phone lights up and she could kiss the screen. Ha-Yul. Ha-Yul, her partner in the charade, has her own trouble. They won't let me leave, the message says. No idea when I'll get out. I'm done for. The one person who could free her is stuck across the city. It gets worse fast. Word goes around that another woman is asking after Do-Hyun An, why he's here, hoping to catch him. I-Yeon Yu sees where this leads. This is bad. Do-Hyun. An settles it himself. Something came up at home, he says, smooth as ever. A guest leans in. Everything all right? Just tired, he says, turning to her with that infuriating courtesy. Excuse me, Yoni, enjoy your night. You're leaving just like that? Someone protests. He's already moving, giving the order that runs cold through her. Take Yoni to Ms. Yu's friend. He means to send her off escorted while he drives home, where the real I-Yeon Yu waits. She cannot let him arrive first. Every scrap of her disguise is still in Ha-Yul's car, and Ha-Yul is trapped across town. If he beats her there, it all comes apart. So she does the only thing left. Wait, she blurts, catching his sleeve. He stops, eyebrow climbing. Something to say? Let me go first, she says. Please, let me leave first. A pause. Pardon? She hears it land. Who says that? I must look out of my mind. Forget it, she's getting out no matter what. She bolts, tossing thanks for tonight over her shoulder, the crowd calling after her to get home safe. The doors hiss shut behind her. Do-hyun. Anne watches the doors, mildly puzzled. Was I rude just now? The woman beside him gives nothing. Wouldn't you take it badly if someone ditched you to your face for being tired? You've a long way to go as a person. Home? The disguise peeled off. She nearly walks into the one person who can't catch her running. You're back? Oh, Ms. Yu, you weren't asleep? No, comes the quiet reply. Wasn't sleepy. The woman holds the look a beat too long. Something on your mind? You keep staring. I-Yeon Yu recovers fast. Never mind, I mixed you up with something. Good work today, she's told. Get some rest. The double life clicks into place. Alone at last, she lets herself believe it. He didn't know me. With him, it's always the eyes. However lovely the face, a stranger gets a flat, distant look. Celebrities pass without a blink. He looked at his own wife the same way. Had he known, it would have shown at the party or in that too smooth goodbye. It didn't. She's in the clear. So why, hand pressed to her chest, is her pulse still racing over a man who doesn't know her? Daylight, another life. A cafe, a coffee order across the counter. I-Yeon Yu back among us as a plain office worker. Yeon, did you hear? A coworker buzzes. We're getting newbies, full-time hires, not just the secretary's office. Show a little life, the friend nudges. Could be good-looking rookies in there. Thrilling for a hellhole like this, no? I-Yeon Yu barely twitches a brow. I'm chained here paying off credit cards. Dating? It'd be adultery if I did, she says, meaning it more than her friend knows. The gossip rolls on. Somebody cute joined the strategy team. The coworker swearing to report back, I-Yeon Yu playing bored to the hilt. You don't have to sound that dead inside. Her friend laughs, peeking at her. Then a voice cuts clean through the chatter. I-Yeon Yu, her real name in a place it was never meant to find her. She turns, breath caught halfway, and the chapter shuts on one question. Who here knows exactly who she is? Years of practice taught her to vanish inside loose sleeves and a lowered chin. Then a shape in a marketing file drags her eyes straight back to the one face she'd promised herself was finished. Morning at Woosung Card. Do-hyun, Anne is walking the team through the influencer collaboration project, the new media push their whole strategy leans on. He fans the documents across the table and asks I-Yeon Yu to take a look. Her eyes catch on one image and refuse to move on. A silhouette in the file is the exact line of his shoulders. It can't be, she tells herself. Out of every company in Korea, what are the odds their paths land here, at Woosung? But the question won't leave, and under it a flat little verdict has already settled. If it's him, she never wants his face in front of her again. Do-hyun's voice cuts across it. Ms. Yu. Her, yes, Mr. An lands half a beat too slow. He's watching her now, mouth tight. She's never scattered like this. Just hand out the files, he says. She reaches for them and they slide from her fingers, papers skating across the floor while she drops down after them, apologizing, hands fumbling each sheet. It keeps going. Do-hyun turns over a page and finds the wrong one. Asks if she mixed it up with the monthly report. She apologizes, swears she'll fix it and resend the notice right away. Why slip up like this and make trouble, he says, sharper than he intends. They both know this isn't her. Then Yeonjong Kang sweeps in with a scent of blood. You won't believe it, she says. Ms. Yu swapped the weekly and monthly meeting times in the notice, so her whole team marched to the conference room for nothing. She'd even given Mr. Kang a heads up, and now she's the fool standing in front of everyone. Do-hyun doesn't bite. If that's all it is, he says evenly, it's nothing serious. Yeonjong reaches for the knife again. But if you let her off so easy. He cuts her clean off. Ms. Yeonjong Kang, are you trying to blow something this small out of proportion? She backs down with a quick laugh, but his quiet tone has shaken something loose in her. We'll talk at home, she mutters, and the room starts breathing again. The office thins out. Do-hyun catches I-Yeon at the door. Is something going on? he asks. You're not usually this prone to mistakes. She hands him the line she hands everyone. It won't happen again, sir. That's not what I meant, he says. But she's already apologizing, already turning, already wishing him a good night. Wait, Ms. Yu. I can't help but worry, he says. The word stops her cold. Worried. He recovers fast. We're colleagues. There's an important project ahead of us. Then, softer, what's the matter? You don't have to answer if it's too personal. It's the open door in his voice, the way he leaves it ajar, that makes her finally walk through. She tells him the way people's eyes land on her has always sat wrong with her, and lately the old memories keep climbing back up. Then she goes to the beginning. Her parents ran a Chinese restaurant for years, full of regulars who'd been in the neighborhood forever. One man was always especially kind to her. She called him Uncle. Until the day the kindness turned. You're even prettier today, he said, and his hand clamped around her wrist. You have no idea how many times I pictured this, he told her, while she pulled back asking what he was doing. She wrenched loose and ran. Hey, where do you think you're going? He shouted after her. You think any man stays near you with clean intentions? That pretty face of yours pulls them in. 10 years she'd trusted him. He never apologized, never explained. He simply stopped coming. That wasn't even what made her hide. The deeper cut came later. First semester of college, her first male friend, same major. One afternoon, he grabbed her arm and wouldn't let go. I like you, he said. Honestly, since the first moment I saw you, you were so beautiful I couldn't get the words out. I was scared it would wreck what we had, but if I don't say it now, I'll regret it forever. His grip closed over her like a fist. She told him she was sorry. A sincere confession deserves respect. She says now she still believes that. But back then there was no room left in her to hold it. All she could feel was something inside her quietly splitting apart. Ever since, every gaze that finds her sits on her skin like a threat, and that, she says, is why she buries herself in clothes 2 sizes too big. She catches herself and apologizes. She didn't mean to dredge all that up. But Do-hyun stays in it. Why now? He asks. Why have they been coming back lately? Did you run into someone? She admits she thought she saw a familiar face at work. Him, he asks, that male friend? I'm not sure, she says. I could be wrong. Sorry for worrying you. From tomorrow, she'll focus. No more mistakes. Do-hyun is left holding more than he came for. That story was heavier than he braced for, and he has nothing to say to it. Miss Yu always read as the steady one. He never once guessed she'd been carrying that under all of it. Next day, the department head shows up unannounced. Hello, Ms. Yu. Hello, Ms. Kang. Relax. I'm not here to scold anyone. We've got a new hire, he says, and I'm bringing him round to meet the vice president. He's inside, right? The new man steps forward with an easy little smile and puts out his hand. Nice to meet you. Then he says his name. Ji-Hoo-Aeom. The face she'd begged to be a trick of her eyes, the one she'd sworn off forever, is standing in her office with its hand out, introducing itself as her newest colleague. He holds out his hand, smiling the way you smile at a stranger. I-Yeon Yu knows that hand. She knows what those fingers have done, and she can't make herself reach for it. Years earlier, a boy stood in front of her and forced the words out before he lost his nerve. Hey, I-Yeon Yu, I've got something to say. I like you. I've liked you since the first time I saw you. If I don't tell you now, I'll regret it forever. I never thought of you as just a friend. Clumsy, plain, the kind of thing a person keeps for years. The memory shuts. The same boy is grown now, in a pressed suit standing in her office as the new hire. Ji-Hoo-Aeom. Hasn't changed a bit, she thinks. Not even that hand. My name is Ji-Hoo-Aeom. I look forward to working with you. She is stuck on one question. Did he recognize me? He keeps smiling, easy, giving her nothing to read. The pause runs a beat too long. Someone nudges her. Ms. Yu, you're leaving his hand hanging. So she takes it. Yes, hello, I'm I-Yeon Yu from the secretary's office. The name catches on something behind his eyes. I-Yeon Yu? He holds her gaze too long and a colleague jumps in. Mr. Aeom, I know Ms. Yu is one of a kind, but you can't stare like that. Does he not know me, she wonders? Or is he just good at this? He folds it away. Sorry, you have the same name as someone I used to know. That was out of line. I'm happy to be working with you. Same name as someone he used to know. She lets the little lie stand, the two of them holding opposite ends of it. Alone, she sits with what it means. Fate doesn't let anything go. She'd pictured him out there somewhere, doing fine, nowhere near her. Never as Woo-sung card. Her company, her floor. Just don't stir anything up while you're here, she tells the empty room. Please. Down the hall, the new hire makes his rounds. A knock at the vice president's door. Mr. An, it's assistant manager Kang. I've brought the new recruit from brand marketing. The door opens. Nice to meet you, Mr. An. I'm I-Yeon from brand marketing. I'll give it everything I've got. Do-hyun. An stands to greet him. Good to meet you, Mr. Aom. Congratulations on joining Woo-sung card. I'm Do-hyun An, the vice president. Their palms meet and something in the room turns wrong. An clocks it before he can name it. What is this feeling? The air between two men who have never met pulls tight. There's nothing he can point at. A grip held a second past polite, a smile a degree too wide, the hair on his arm standing up for no reason. What's off about this room? An thinks, watching the new man walk away. He just doesn't like him. I-Yeon needs someone who already knows. She calls Ha-Yul. Ha-Yul, it's me, can you talk? Ha-Yul gets there first, half a laugh in it. I was about to call you. You left that shopping bag in my car, it's still sitting there, and just thinking about it gives me a headache. And why'd you do that to me? You nearly landed me in real trouble. I-Yeon cuts to the thing ringing in her skull. You know Ji-Hoo-eum, right? Of course, Ha-Yul says. So she says it. He joined my company. The line goes quiet. What? Are you serious? So did he recognize you? She doesn't get to answer. A voice arrives at her shoulder. Hello, Ms. Yu. She jolts hard enough to nearly drop the phone. It's him. Sorry, he says, I didn't mean to startle you. Her heart is going like a fist on a door. She waves it off. No, it's fine. He plays the lost newcomer. Could you point me to the planning team? It's my first day. She manages an over there, willing him to take the hint. He doesn't. He tilts his head and looks at her too long. But have we met before? Your face is different from the woman who shares your name, he says, but you still seem familiar. Her pulse jumps. Really? I guess I just have one of those faces. I've never seen you. He keeps her eyes one more second, then lets it drop. Must have been my imagination. Either way, we'll be seeing a lot of each other. I hope we get along. I'm new and don't know much, he adds, that same smile in place, so I hope you'll help me out. And why would I, she says. He leans in, barely. Because, whether you like it or not, we'll be seeing each other often. He doesn't make it a threat. He makes it a promise, soft and certain. The standoff breaks when Anne's voice crosses the floor. Ms. Yu, time for the executive meeting. Let's go. Yes, sir. She steps away from Ji-Hoo and falls in beside the man she actually trusts. But Anne caught the end of it. Hello, Mr. An, she says, a shade too bright. You two seem to be getting on, he notes, still watching. Not really. He just asked where the planning team was, so I pointed him there. Still. Anne lets the word hang. He glances back at Ji-Hoo-eum and runs it again. Awfully easy with a colleague he met an hour ago. Maybe I should have a word with Miss Kang. The new man rubs him the wrong way, and Anne tucks that away. One last image. The name on a glossy business card set down like a sentence already passed. Woo-sung card. Ji-Hoo-eum. The boy who once told her he loved her now shares her floor, watches her too closely, and isn't going anywhere. The whole office is chewing on one rumor. Their untouchable vice president is secretly married. The woman who could end the guessing in a sentence sits 2 desks over, eyes on her keyboard, acting like she's never once heard his name. Lunch hour at Woo-sung card, and the gossip jumps from tray to tray. Word is the vice president's married. The whole table leans in. Come on, there hasn't even been talk of a wedding. So if it's real, who in the world landed him? Not Hui Ra-jung, that's for sure. Aren't you the least bit curious? They swing around to I-Yeon Yu, waiting. She pushes rice around her plate and says she isn't. It comes out a half beat too fast. Hopeless, her coworker sighs, then melts into how a secret wedding would be the most romantic thing imaginable. I-Yeon chews and says nothing. The secret husband is Do-Hyun-an. The wife they're all inventing over lunch is her. Then Ms. Kang stops by with a stranger trailing her. New hire, she says, and waves him forward. Ji-Hoo-Aeom. He gives an easy, nice to meet you, and Huira's jaw nearly hits the table at how good-looking he is. But when his eyes find I-Yeon, something shifts behind them. See you around, he says, and she doesn't care for the weight he hangs on it. Her coworker nudges her, grinning. Work's about to get a whole lot more interesting, huh? Just eat, I-Yeon mutters. Why so cranky all of a sudden? I-Yeon doesn't answer. She knows that face. She's seen it before in a place she'd sooner not revisit. Later, Ji-Hoo shows up at the secretary's office. He's here, he says, to sort out the schedule for the end-of-month marketing meeting. I-Yeon doesn't thaw an inch. You could handle that on the company app, Mr. Eum, unless there's something you need to report to the vice president in person? No, he admits. Not really, I came up to see you. Me? Yes, he says, and leans in over the counter. I'd like us to be friends. Ms. Kang mentioned we're the same age. Maybe that's what put me at ease. She keeps the counter solidly between them. Sorry, Mr. Eum, but I barely know you and we're on the clock. Let's keep it to work. His smile loses some of its warmth. Disappointing, he says. This company is stifling enough as it is. What's the harm in a little break dressed up as work? Then he sharpens it. Are you always this stiff? Every time I see you, there's a frown waiting. Do you really dislike me that much? Why? The question lands and she goes still. Was it written that plainly on her face? The thought slips out before she can stop it. People don't change. He's exactly who he was back then. So she packs it away and decides to play nice just to keep this from turning into a scene. Call it a tax on working for a living. Dislike you? Don't be silly. There's no reason for that, is there? His whole face opens up. There it is, a smile. Ms. Yu, if you don't dislike me, how about a movie after work? I've got a spare ticket. I-Yeon bristles. A movie, just like that, out of thin air. Does he think she's that easy? Don't read into it, he adds in a hurry. My +1 bailed at the last minute. Shame to let the ticket go to waste. Backed into it, she fishes for an exit. What's the movie? Science fantasy, he says, called Small Picture. Oh, that one, she blurts. I've already seen it. What a shame. He blinks. Yeah, you saw Small Picture? It only premiered today. A bead of sweat rolls down. Oh, maybe it was Middle Picture I saw? Tiny Picture? What was the title again? Her phone rescues her. Secretary's office, she answers, then sits up straight. Mr. An is calling for me. Sorry, Mr. Eum, next time. She's out the door before he can get a word in, and a small part of her could kiss whoever was on that line. Back up a little. In his office, Do-Hyun-an has just learned the new hire went up to see I-Yeon. The new hire? His jaw sets. He taps his fingers against the desk, says nothing, then picks up the phone. I-Yeon comes in. You called for me, Mr. An? Yes, he begins, and then the words desert him. He grabs the nearest thing on the desk. Right, look this file over for me. Yes, sir, she says. He can hardly hold her gaze. At last, he gets to what he actually wants. So, the new hire stopped by? Anything I should know? No, she says. He just wanted to be friends. Do-Hyun isn't buying a word of it. Typical male nonsense. Think about it, why skip his own team to tell you that? A man doesn't say that unless he's interested. He keeps pushing, and the jealousy is seeping through the cracks now. I'll bet he said more than that. I-Yeon hesitates, then gives it up. Well, he did ask me to a movie. Knew it, Do-Hyun says. And what did you tell him? I was about to turn him down when you called me in. That answer pleases him far more than his face lets on. Then, carefully, like he's been circling it the whole time, You don't dislike movies, do you, Ms. Yu? Not at all, she says. Sometimes I go alone to the midnight show, grab some popcorn. He pounces. Then, are you free tonight? What? Free for what? He looks at her, steady now. The husband not a soul in the building knows about asking his own wife out for the first time. Let's get dinner and catch a movie after. By the end of the night, I-Yeon Yu is sitting in a dark theater with Do-hyun-an's hand warm under her fingers, trying to work out when a man's hand stopped being something she flinched from. It starts on the street, the two of them walking close. Heads keep turning as they pass, and I-Yeon clocks every one of them. She wonders if it gets to him the way it's starting to get to her. From the way strangers look twice, she finally lets herself admit it. Yes, he really is that good-looking. She sees him every day and had stopped noticing. Now she can't not notice, and she edges half a step sideways, suddenly counting the inches between his arm and hers. Distracted, she walks straight into something with a soft thud. He turns. What's wrong? She admits she hasn't bought the tickets, that she has no clue what's even worth watching anymore. He says he figured. He booked them already. The moment after she first floated the idea of a movie, he went and looked up what was playing. That stops her. He plays it down, says he isn't sure it's her taste. There wasn't much for this time slot. She thanks him. Before they head in, he asks if she wants something. At the counter, she reels off her order like she's done it 100 times. Iced Americano, nachos, a Diet Coke. When the staff turns to him, he stalls. Popcorn, nachos, or dried squid? Can he pick none of the above? I-Yeon rounds on him, mock wounded. That's a sad answer, she says. Who comes to a theater just for the movie? You come to eat. He deadpans that he supposes he's the last person alive who shows up to watch the film. She won't drop it, prodding him to pick, telling him the snacks are half the point. He folds and orders a second set of nachos. Extra sauce, she adds for him. Inside, it catches up with her. Her throat had gone so dry she drained the Coke before they even sat down. Who'd have guessed she'd wind up at the movies with the vice president, of all people? Not her. They've never sat this close. The quiet between them in the dark is nothing like the quiet at home or at the office. And she already knows she won't follow a minute of the film. The lights go down. He leans in to whisper, asking if it's sci-fi. She whispers back that it is. Then she reaches for the nachos, offering to hold them so he can just sit and watch. He waves it off. Her wrists already worn from work, she should be comfortable. She points out she has to hold the tray to eat anyway. And since he's only trying to be kind, she lets him have it. Thank you, she says. On screen, a film opens in 2037, Earth's oil run dry. A man named James and a hunt for the last of it. Half watching, I-Yeon digs into the nachos and her fingers sink into something slick. The texture stops her mid-reach. It's been so long since she's touched anything like it that her hand won't come back and something runs up her arm she'd rather it didn't. Get a grip, she tells herself. Think about the next move. Don't make a scene in a quiet theater. She'll play it off, she decides. Grab a nacho and eat like nothing's happened. Then she goes still. The sauce isn't on her hand. It's on his. Do-hyun notices too, murmuring that there's something on his hand. She lurches into motion before she's thought it through, blurting that she'll wipe it off, sorry, already reaching for him. He just watches her fumble and teases her flat. Look at you, all thumbs like an amateur. I'm embarrassed for you. But her hand is on his now, and the comeback she had dies unsaid. She feels how firm it is, the kind that comes from training, the broad weight of it under her fingers. She wipes slow. Hands like these, she catches herself thinking, don't always have to be something you brace against. His hand is warm. In the dark of the theater, that's the only thing left in her head. She keeps wiping a palm that has nothing on it, again and again. And somewhere in the middle of it, I-Yeon Yu catches Do-hyun watching her do it. It starts small the way these things do. In the back of a quiet car, she reaches over to brush something off his hand. There's nothing there, it never landed on his palm at all. But she keeps at it, fussing at skin that's already clean, and by the time she registers what she's doing, he's looking right at her. How long had he been watching? She yanks her hand back, the apology already out before she can stop it. He waves it off, no need, he didn't even notice. But she noticed. She'll be replaying this one tonight, kicking at her blankets, asking the ceiling what is wrong with her. He breaks the quiet first. You're quiet today, he says. She covers, just thinking about tomorrow's schedule, and he teases her for dragging work into a night off. Then he lets it go and asks how the movie was. It was okay, she says. Not bad. He laughs and agrees the plot went off the rails halfway through. All that talk of new energy sources, no apocalypse just because the oil runs dry. He's easy about it, unhurried, walking her through why the film topped ticket sales and what collaboration it had lined up. She can't hear a word of it. All she can see are his hands, the shape of them in the dim car, the way they move while he talks. She nods along to a conversation she's lost the thread of and grabs at the moment he says he enjoyed the night. Thanks to you, Ms. Yu, he tells her. The polite name stings and she can't say why. The car door clicks shut. Home, alone, lights off. And the second she's behind her own door, she's twisting under the covers. No idea of the hour, only that she did something tonight she can't take back. Why did she do that? Why couldn't she let go of his hand? She makes herself say it, finally honest. She wanted to lace her fingers through his. She wanted them to close around hers. Then she remembers. He reached first. When he actually took her hand, the surprise of it turned into something she was glad to feel. She presses her face into the pillow. This is driving her out of her mind. Do I? She starts, then shuts the door on it. No, nope, no way. She already knows how this story ends, she tells herself, so nothing changes. She just liked the feeling of his hand. That's all it can be. Morning at the office and the phone cuts it short. A delivery's waiting in the lobby, a big one. She'll want a dolly. She takes the card, says she's on her way, and pulls herself back into the secretary who has everything handled. Downstairs, she signs for the hall, thanks the courier, sends him off with a good day. Sleeves up, loading it onto the dolly, strong as ever. And a voice behind her offers help. That looks heavy. Want a hand, Miss Yu? It's I-Yeon. She keeps it polite. Thanks, but she's got it. She has the dolly, she can manage. He won't take the answer. He could use the exercise, he says, already reaching in. She says it again, firmer. It's fine, she appreciates it, but it's really okay. He keeps pressing. It looks heavy, and isn't this sort of thing outside a secretary's job anyway? He'll at least pull it to the elevator. Her voice changes. Mr. I-Yeon, she says, if you keep insisting, it makes me uncomfortable. You said you wanted to be friends, right? Then please don't do things that make me uncomfortable. She turns, excuses herself, and walks, leaving him with his offer unfinished and her name half out of his mouth. But he follows. Mr. Yu, he calls, again until she stops. There's something he's been wondering, he says. She tells him to go ahead, the dolly still parked between them. All this time, he says. And the question comes out soft, almost gentle. How have you been? She blinks. Sorry? I don't quite understand. It's an odd thing to ask a man she's only ever met as a stranger at work. And it hangs there, unexplained. Then he just says it. It is you. The gorgeous I-Yeon Yu. The careful distance she's kept all along has nothing left to stand on. He has known her this whole time and only now lets her see it. He breathes a name that isn't the one she answers to here, right as the elevator doors begin to part. She built a quiet, careful life out of nothing. A man undoes it in one sentence, and he's smiling while he does it. I-Yeon Yu moves through the evening the way she always does. Head down, plain face, just another worker clocking the hours. She has worn this gray version of herself so long she half believes it's real. Then a voice crosses the room and finds her like a hand closing on her shoulder. I-Yeon stands there looking at her the way no one is allowed to anymore. The gorgeous I-Yeon Yu, he says. And she feels the gray peel back at the edges. So she reaches for the only card she has. You must have me confused with someone else. He doesn't buy a word of it. It's good to see you, he says, like a greeting he's been saving. A face like yours isn't easy to bury, and somehow you pulled it off. The kindness has a hook in it, and they both feel it catch. Excuse me, Mr. I-Yeon, she starts stiff. He talks over her. Don't. I knew the second I saw you. Did you think a little makeup would hide your voice, your eyes, the way you pull a face? He's been reading the parts of her she can't paint over. What do I do? How do I even answer that? Her pulse goes loud enough that she's sure it shows on her face. He keeps tugging the thread loose. No social media. Not one of their old classmates has laid eyes on her since graduation. He could tell she wanted to bury the girl she used to be, he says. So he played along at first and pretended she was a stranger. But you kept turning me down. he adds, and something almost bruised slips under the words. That kinda hurt, you know? She doesn't give him an inch. Then you should have kept pretending. I didn't want to see you again, I still don't. I don't even want to stand here explaining myself to you. That only makes his eyes light up. That's too bad, he says. Feels like an opportunity to me. What? She gets out. He spells it flat. What do I get if I just pretend I never knew you? She has no answer, and the gap where one should be becomes the price. What do you want? She asks. Give me some time. A real chance to apologize. I'll take it slow this time, I-Yeon. He lands her name like he owns it, and she watches her options narrow to nothing. If she has to buy his quiet with her hours, she'll set the terms. Weekdays or weekends, she snaps. You want something out of this, so pick now. I'm busy. He smiles and shuts the door soft behind them both. Since we're here, how about tonight, after work? Alone, the gray slips. I thought I'd fooled every last one of them. Now how do I keep Ji-Hoo-eom's mouth shut? Then a smaller, stubborn problem elbows in past everything else. Tonight's dinner. She has to tell Mr. An. She knocks on Do-hyun-an's door. Ah, Miss Yu, come in. She keeps it short. I have plans tonight, might get back late. Thought you should know. He says go, have fun. Then, lighter than he means it to sound. Mind if I ask who? It's been a while since you had somewhere to be. She lets the pause run a beat too long. Oh, it's nothing. Just an old college friend. A college friend, he repeats, and the words don't quite settle. Yes, she says. He catches himself all formal again. I shouldn't have pried. Go on back to work. She goes. He stays at his desk, turning over something he can't put a name to. An old college friend. He says it to himself twice, and the itch under his collar won't quit. He picks up the phone. On the other end is an old friend of his own, the kind who answers grinning. Well, if it isn't the vice president. You two fight? No, Do-hyun says, it's just, there's this person, someone I've known a long time. Didn't think much of her at first, he admits, but somewhere along the line she got under my skin. I get worked up just looking at her. His friend laughs. Sounds like she stinks at her job. Fire her, he won't. People aren't parts you toss in a bin. Fine, his friend says, then say it straight. What about her? And Do-hyun, who weighs every syllable at work, finally lets one out plain. She looks ordinary enough, but for some reason I want to keep seeing her smile. It's strange, he goes on. This ordinary person feels like something else entirely. She's got her quirks, and I don't mind a single one. The more I learn about her, the more I see how thoughtful she is, and how much steadier than she looks. His friend cuts him off. Skip the cheesy intro, get to it. How much plainer can I say it, Do-hyun mutters. I just can't stop thinking about her. The line goes still on both ends. Then the friend's voice drops the joking. Hey, you can't do that. What? You're married to Ms. Yu, that's an affair. The way you're talking, this woman's clearly gotten to you. You've caught feelings. Do-hyun stalls. His friend keeps naming the thing he won't. It always starts exactly like this. You notice her, you think about her, you start wondering. At your age, no less. He doesn't catch the end of it. Something has already dropped into place behind his ribs, and the call closes on one dull final knock he can't talk his way out of. By the end of the night, Do-hyun An is awake on the couch counting the same three things over and over. A weeknight, his wife home this late, and one word he keeps tripping on. A man. It starts somewhere harmless. A hot pot place, steam climbing off the broth, a man filling glasses and nudging dumplings across the table like an apology he hasn't said yet. He picked the spot on purpose. I-Yeon Yu reads the whole setup in a glance and leaves her glass where it is. She isn't drinking. She isn't softening. Say what you brought me here to say, she tells him, and let's be done. So he goes back to the thing they buried years ago. Back then, he says, the confession blindsided her. He apologizes, and the word comes out rough, like it's been stuck a long time. He was young. Getting turned down humiliated him, and 3 years of wanting her draining off in one afternoon left him hollow. He kept betting time would smooth it over, that the two of them would slide back to normal. Then she was gone. No forwarding address, no message, nobody who could point to where. What he lost wasn't the crush, he admits. It was the friend. She won't let that sit clean. I lost a friend that day too, she says. Someone I trusted. Her hand moves on its own to the spot on her shoulder where his hand once landed. He apologizes again, softer, says he doesn't blame her for hating him. He came at her out of nowhere with a confession and put his hands on her. She cuts in before he can round the edges off it. Let's get the wording right, she says. You didn't try to, you did. You call yourself young and full of regret, she says. I was already broken by then. He doesn't push back, he just holds her eyes and admits it out loud. Yeah, you were really hurt, weren't you? He should have said this the day it happened, and he knows the apology is years past due. Then the ask. I-Yeon, he says, give me another chance. Can we be friends again? He swears he'll move slow so she never feels boxed in, and he'll keep her secret. That last line lands wrong, and she's on her feet in her voice, if not her body. Are you blackmailing me now? She says. We don't go back. Not ever. He backpedals. No, that's not it. He only meant he'd be careful with what he knows, but the shape of the thing is right there on the table. Choose your words, she tells him, because anyone listening hears a threat. He stumbles into an apology, swears that isn't what he meant. She hands him the truth instead of comfort. I can't be your friend the way we were, she says. That isn't something I can talk myself into. As co-workers, she'll keep it clean and professional. He takes even that and treats it like a kindness. Thanks for leaving the door open a crack, I-Yeon. Don't expect anything past that, she answers, and that's the end of the sentence. Anything else, she asks, already standing? If not, she's gone first. She puts money down for the table and walks. He calls after her, Ji-Hoo-Aeom, out the door and into the cold. Wait, I-Yeon? One last question he can't swallow. The plainer face she wears now, the disguise. Is that because of me? She refuses him even that. Hardly, she says. Don't flatter yourself. That day is one tiny freckle lost among the thousands on her face. It was nothing. Then she draws the line clean in the air between them. This ends at co-workers. Don't step over it. She comes home to lights still on. Do-hyun. Ann is up, half watching something on the couch. You're back, he says. You're late. She slides past it, asks what he's got on, anything good. He fumbles, calls it anime, says he meant to put on something else. Good night, she tells him, and heads for the stairs. Then he stops her. Did you have fun with your friend? The college friend you said you were meeting? And before she can be gone, the question he didn't plan jumps out of him. That friend. Was it a guy? Yeah, she says, easy as anything, he's a guy. But it was so awkward after all this time. She doesn't catch how rigid he's gone. He's chatty tonight, she thinks, while under his breath the word keeps circling. A man. He asks if she's okay. Yeah, I'm fine, he says, a beat too fast. I'll really head up now. You must be tired, she tells him. Get some rest. He decides she's acting odd. She's thinking the exact same about him. Alone, the same three things keep grinding at him. A weeknight, out this late, with a man. His jaw sets and he tries to argue himself out of it. I actually asked if it was a man, he thinks, like a question can be unasked. I'm angry, and it makes no sense. Who she sees is hers. And under all of it, the half sentence he can't get past. I just want. Then it surfaces whole, plain and impossible, and it takes the air right out of him. Do I like Ms. Yu? Me. He kills her whole afternoon, cancels every meeting, and not 1 minute of it is about work. It's that another man made her smile. Morning at Woosung Card. Elevators slide open on another ordinary day, and up on the executive floor, I-Yeon Yu walks her checklist over again. Morning meeting done, 1 in the afternoon, then the weekly review. About now, Do-hyun. Ann always starts wanting something sweet, she's thinking. And she's halfway through the thought when a voice barks her name across the hall. She nearly drops where she stands. It's Ji-Hoo-Aeom, grinning like he set it up. Sorry, he says, didn't think you'd jump, though the grin says he hoped she would. He's holding a box. Rice cakes for the vice president's office, supposedly handed off by Ms. Seo, just back from maternity leave. I-Yeon isn't buying it. Ms. Seo would carry a personal errand up herself, not pass it to him. You volunteered, didn't you? She says flat. He owns up, then softens it. Seo looked worn out, even thanked him. Fine. She takes the box. She'll give it to Mr. An. He can go now. I-Yeon doesn't go. Can I rest here a bit? He says, and settles in like the hallway's his. Then, lower, the thing he's been circling. Will you ever stop disguising yourself? I kinda miss the old you. The words just hang there. She steps right past them. Cut the bullcrap and leave while I'm being nice, she says. I've got enough of a headache without you. The grin doesn't budge. I'll come by often, he tells her. See you around. Her arms prickle. Don't you dare come up for anything but work, she warns. He opens his hands. I said I'd treat you as a co-worker, nothing more. And then flips it on her, smooth. She's the one assuming, isn't she? Always so quick to twist a colleague's words and snap. It lands. She goes still. Of course not. She gets out, finding her feet again. Let's not drag this out. You should go. I-Yeon leans in for one more. How about you make it up to me after work? And the sentence dies there. Do-hyun An is standing in the doorway. Hello, Mr. An? I-Yeon says, far too bright. An doesn't so much as glance at him. Ms. Yu, let's talk about the afternoon meeting. He turns and walks, and she's left to trail after. His office. The door shuts and nobody speaks. What did you want to discuss, Mr. An? She asks, and gets nothing. Just the look. The one he wears when she's truly done it. She flips back through the day in her head. Did I miss something? So she does the thing she always does when she's cornered. She smiles. Wide. Don't smile like that, he says. The grin locks on her face. It's not too late, she tries. Just tell me what I did wrong today. Inside, she's running the whole list. Driver on standby, files prepped, gift sets ready, attendees reminded, room booked for one at the Cheongdam branch. Every box ticked. Every one. And she still can't find it, which can only mean it's huge. Big enough to set him off like this. What's going on with you lately, he says. Sorry? It's been gnawing at me a while, he goes on. And it's time I said it. It bothers me. Yes, sir, she promises. Tell me and I'll fix it this second. So he does. Since when did you get so close with that new hire? Mr. I-Yeon, she says. We knew each other in college, actually, and files it away, jaw set. Figured you two looked close. We used to be, she admits. Then, catching his face, don't smile. I wasn't smiling, he says, who absolutely was. Don't smile at that fox, it makes me crazy. Fox? The word sits there. Her skin tightens. Yes, he says. But why is Mr. I-Yeon a fox? She asks. Because he grins like one, Anne says. The friend you met the other day, was that the same fox? Yes, she says. He goes quiet a beat. Then, clear my afternoon schedule. She snaps into motion. Yes, sir, I'll cancel the meeting and the review. She's braced for the rest of it. Instead, there's a new 2-star lamb place near where we live. Lamb? From nowhere? She stands there blinking while he mutters at himself. Maybe beef ribs over skewers. The heat in him still banked low. I'm still mad, he says. I'll have to go tonight. You're going alone, she asks. No, he says, with you. Are you free tonight? The pause stretches, then it bursts out of her. Of course, I'd love to. He lifts an eyebrow at the speed of it. Does it make you that happy? Yes, she blurts, then scrambles. Actually, I just really like lamb. She's often running about how tender it goes on the grill. He offers to handle the grilling. No, she says, you just show up, sir. She has no idea what she just agreed to. He does. A man this jealous doesn't book a restaurant for the lamb. And while she rattles on about grill marks, he settles the real plan for the night. Tonight, he thinks, I find out exactly what Ms. Yu makes of me. By the end of the night, the most powerful man at the company is standing over a sleeping woman with a half-eaten mango still in her hand, deciding, very seriously, to cancel every group dinner of the year. It starts with lamb on the grill. The smell fills the whole kitchen, and I-Yeon Yu is glowing before the meat even hits a plate. We should have done this ages ago, she says, and reaches too fast and knocks something over and laughs. Do-hyun. Anne pours her a glass of baijiu, then one for himself, and watches her take that first long, happy sip. Between bites, she asks what made him crave lamb all of a sudden. He keeps his eyes on his glass. He thought she might be craving it. She blinks. She never said a word about meat today, so he reminds her. On the way to the Sangyeon trading meeting, she'd let slip that she likes lamb. He kept it. She swallows. He remembers things like that? All she gets out is a thank you, smaller and softer than she planned. The baijiu catches up with her quick. 1 second she's sitting up, the next her cheek is on the table. Anne leans in. Don't tell me you're drunk again, like last time. He shakes her shoulder. Nothing. He resolves then and there that she is never drinking again. He'd come tonight to ask her about Ji-hoo Eom. So much for that. Time to get her home. He'll call a driver, he tells her, get her some rest. Her hand closes around his sleeve before he can stand. Where's he going? She slurs. They're only getting started. She's totally fine, perfectly sober. She is neither. We should head back, he says. So she bargains, swaying, pleading. One more drink at home, just one. He looks at her and knows she won't let it go. He sighs. Fine. One more. Back at her place, she looks up, suddenly clear-eyed, and says his name. Did you sober up, he asks. Then she announces like a discovery that they have mango at home. Mango, the perfect drinking snack. She lays it all out, cheeks pink, and declares lamb and mango her two favorite things on earth. She's so happy tonight. As long as you're happy, he says. He almost envies the way a piece of fruit can do that to a person. She shoves a slice at him. Happiness in a bite. He watches her more than he eats. She seems steadier now. This is his opening, he decides, and he'll keep it light. So, by the way, Miss Yu, you and Ji-hoo Eom have looked close lately. Do you have feelings for him? Eom? Feelings? She turns it right back. Why's he asking? He stiffens and reaches for an answer that won't give him away. No reason, really. You two just seem close, that's all. A bead of sweat says otherwise. Then she has one of her own. Maybe it's just her, she says, but it feels like he calls for her the moment she's with Eom. And when she walks into his office afterward, he looks a little mad. Different from before, she's been wondering about that. He goes very still. She's a step from the truth and doesn't know it. Is it because Eom and I, she starts? And his mouth opens to head her off. I didn't mean to. But she rolls right over him, grinning. Is it because you're mad we went for dumpling hot pot without you? The breath he lets out is half a laugh. Next time, she says, come with us if you're up for it, and gives his arm a little shove. The real answer stays where it is, on both sides. He just says, the mango's great. Yeah, she says, eat up. She keeps eating. He tells her, amused, that she puts away more than he expected. Then her head dips. He catches it a beat late. Wait, is she asleep? He taps at her, not quite believing it. You can't fall asleep mid-mango. This, he concludes, must be some kind of medical condition. He rests a hand against her, careful. Same ending as last time. He sighs at her sleeping face. Every single time she drinks. How is he ever supposed to bring her to a company dinner like this? So he makes the only call a man this far gone can make. Forget it. Every group dinner this quarter is canceled. The year-end party, too. She breathes against the table, one stray slice still pinched in her fingers, and he looks down at her, helpless. What is he supposed to do with this little yellow chick? She's out cold, one arm hooked around him like he's the last thing she'll let slip away. He's the one who can't breathe. It starts harmless enough. Do-hyun. Anne sits across from I-Yeon Yu while she finishes her food, cheeks packed, in no hurry at all. He should look anywhere else. Instead, his eyes keep sliding back to her mouth, and he only catches himself a beat too late. Time to go, he tells himself. Slip her glasses off, let her sleep, that's all. His hand reaches, and hers closes over it. A sleepy little no on her lips as she tugs him in. One pull and he's down against her. His heartbeat goes loud enough to fill the whole room. He locks up mid-motion, hunting for an exit that won't wake her. He tries to lever himself loose. She only holds tighter. Wait, Ms. Yu, could you let go? he whispers, squirming, sweat at his temple, wondering how someone this soft asleep grips like a vice. She mumbles his name into his shoulder. He stops dead. "Are you awake?" he asks, barely a sound. And she just nestles closer. The thought sits wrong in him. She's wide open, nothing held back. What if it were anyone but him here? Then half in a dream, she keeps talking. When they first met, she says, he was scary. But he turned out warm, and now she finally believes it all the way down. He can't tell if she's awake or under, and that's the part that gets him. Holding her like this drags his mind into the corners he keeps shut by day. She'd let something slip once, an old wound. What kind of life teaches a person to flinch like that? Could he ever really reach it? And under everything he wants sits the worry that won't quiet. Follow this, and he might cut her open all over again. He glances at the elephant plush wedged in her arms. And, God help him, envies a toy at spot. "It's okay," she murmurs. "She's fine, she's..." And the word she settles on is the one he can't claim for himself. Not scared. Then she stirs, and he lifts her hand away, careful, like proof he kept the line. The truth doubles back on him. "It wasn't me," he says under his breath. "You're the one holding on." And for one long, unmoving stretch, he stays exactly where he is and lets her keep him. Before the sense in him can win, he bends down and sets the lightest kiss against her hair. Quick. A line stepped over so softly he can barely credit his own hands. He pulls back, reaching for something ordinary. "You awake? Want some water?" Then she moves, all at once. She catches his face in both hands and kisses him square on the mouth. Everything in him stalls. Her fist knots in his collar, her name caught half-spoken on his tongue. I-Yeon. And the floor he thought he was standing on simply isn't there. He draws back to look at her, still out, slow, even breaths, fast asleep. She kissed him without ever surfacing. He sits there gutted, staring at a woman with no clue what she's done. "I'm losing my mind," he breathes. He's not wrong. He said he was losing his mind. By morning, she's the one coming apart, over a dream she can't prove, and a man who won't blink. I-Yeon swims up out of sleep, sure she dreamed something soft. The details slip away in pieces, and then one piece doesn't. A kiss. She shoots upright and scolds her sleeping head for wandering somewhere that warm. But the dream is too exact to wave off. The heat of his breath, the give of his lips, the weight of a hand. She presses both palms to a chest that won't quiet and asks how a dream invents a thing in such detail. She wants to ask him straight out what happened last night. The words die before they reach her mouth. He moves through the morning the way he does every morning. Coat, keys, that level calm. Surely if she'd crossed a line, something would feel different by now. So she swallows it and curses the drink that wiped her clean again. The only one without the memory. Then he turns, asks if she's okay, and uses her name. Just her name, no Ms. Yu in front of it. The floor tilts. Did they drop the formalities last night, and did she sleep through that too? She manages that she's fine, can't recall a thing, then asks, careful as a hand near a stovetop, if she made a mistake. "A mistake," he repeats. "Yes." One word, and the bottom drops out of her morning. She's apologizing before she knows what for, begging him to just name it so she can fix it. He only says they've arrived and walks. She chases him across the lobby, calling down the corridor. "Let me fix it, Mr. Ann." He doesn't break stride. He won't tell her, he says, because he can't get over that she forgot. He keeps the kiss and lets her stew. All day she's useless, circling the same dead end. What did she do? Why won't he say it? Into that fog walks Ms. Kang, poured into a skin-tight skirt, asking sweetly whether Mr. Ann is in. She looks I-Yeon's plain hair up and down and suggests, kindly, that she change it. I-Yeon says she'll handle her own hair, thanks. Kang sails through the door with a note that the color does her no favors. From his desk, Do-hyun watches Kang lean too close, and his jaw sets without his say-so. It's nothing, he tells himself. She's like that every day. But the word he won't reach for keeps reaching for him, and at last he lets it land. Jealous? Over this? He sits with it like it can't be his, and it is. He sends Kang off with an instruction that lands like a slap. From now on, she runs it all through I-Yeon Yu. Out in the hall, she seethes. She's to clear everything with the secretary now? And why does everyone keep saying that name, from the VP and the new hire both? What is so special about that plain girl? So she goes fishing. She finds Ji-hoo and asks if I-Yeon's been flirting with him. Should she clear the problem away for him? He corrects her, easy, smiling. It's the other way around. He's the one who made the move. Fell for her the second he saw her, and he isn't backing off. Would Kang put in a good word? Kang reels. That face at first sight? He says everyone has their taste, that I-Yeon carries a charm you don't catch at a glance. Kang storms off chewing on it. Two men circling one plain girl and the numbers won't add up. Someone like Hui Ra-jong she'd understand. But I-Yeon Yu with that face? She has to know how the brat pulled it off. Home at last, I-Yeon drops her bag with a long breath and still can't set the day down. Why is she still this worked up? Pathetic, she tells herself, knees to her chest. This grubby, watching everyone thing is turning her own heart sour. One dream knocked her sideways, and now even Kang's outfits get under her skin. Mr. An has no clue she's up here turning it over and over. A knock, she shrieks. It's him at her door, her floor, the half of the house he never crosses. Why so jumpy? He asks through the wood, like she's watching something with a knife in it. Then, quietly, he needs to talk. Now. Can they sit a minute? Her now? Gets a flat yes, now, and it hits her, far too late, that she screamed, so she can't claim she was washing up. He doesn't sound like a man who'll take no. One moment, she calls, scrambling. Did she put the disguise away, the wig, the glasses, all of it bare on the table? She didn't. The real face he's never been allowed to see sits in plain sight, and his hand is already on the door. Just a moment, I'm not ready. The handle turns. Past midnight, Do-hyun climbs to the second floor and knocks on a door he's never had reason to knock on. I-Yeon opens it in the full getup, wig, glasses, the works, and throws her arms wide. Ta-da, she's only goofing. He just stares, and neither of them moves. He clears his throat and asks too carefully whether she's picked up a new hobby. She leans into the bit. Sometimes a disguise just feels good. Want to try the wig? He waves it off. He couldn't take what's hers. Behind the grin, she lets out a slow breath. For one bad second, she'd been sure he'd reach for it. So why is he here at this hour? Something on fire at the office? No, he couldn't sleep. Too many questions in his chest. Earlier, when Ms. Kang came in for a signature, why did he look at her like that? He doesn't remember doing that, he insists, sweat at his temple. For a second, she thought he might have been jealous. He jerks like she's touched a live wire. Was that what kept him up, she teases? He pushes to the question she never answered, whether she has feelings for that fox. She laughs it off. Did he ask her that? She was too drunk to remember. Answer me now, he says. You're sober. He'd held it the whole way home. She reads it wrong, thinks he's worried someone will learn about the contract, so she gives him the clean truth. Ji-hoo Eom was once a close friend. Now he's a co-worker, nothing more. Besides, he's never once crossed her mind that way. She means it to reassure him with no idea what it does to him. I think I'm losing my mind, he says. She doesn't follow. I know it's sudden, but lately just watching her talk to that fox does something to him. He says her name, plain and steady. I-Yeon. Do you know what I regret most? Signing that contract. He lays it out like a story he'd built in his head. Marry a woman of his choosing, divorce cleanly in 2 years, and his grandfather would finally let him be. That's what he'd hoped to hear. Then plainly, I-Yeon, I've started to like you. More than I expected to. Her face goes hot. Mr. An, she manages. And now that I've tasted mango, he says, I can't go back. Mango? She turns the word over, lost. Then he closes the space between them and kisses her. Soft, brief, real. And there it is, the thing she'd half buried as a drunken dream the other night. It wasn't a dream. She chokes on a cough. He asks if she's all right. She swears she's fine. I know it's a lot, he says. He felt the same at first. He isn't asking for an answer tonight. This is all new to him. He's said too much, he decides, and backs toward the door. But if she ever feels the same, she shouldn't hold back. Come to him. He'll tear that contract up himself. The latch clicks shut and she's left there, never having said a word back. She couldn't. Her heart won't settle. Mr. An likes her, and she never saw it coming. He likes this version of her, the plain one she invented. If he ever saw her real face, what then? That she'd lied? Had some hidden motive? He doesn't hand out trust easily, that's the problem. Morning, and the warmth is gone. In a Woosung Card meeting room, Do-hyun sits stone-faced while his team breaks bad news. They lost the contract to B-Card after months of being strung along. B-Card offered 1.5 times the fee, and new applications are sliding. His hand comes down flat on the table. If all they can tell him is that it's hard, what's he to do? The room scrambles for a fix. Over a fifth of their 20 and 30-something customers walked this quarter. They need a bold rebrand. Look at B-Card, someone says, signing idols as their faces since last year. Why not swap their own model? There's a rookie actor everyone is talking up, not an idol, so she'd stand apart while still pulling the young. Do-hyun allows it. A good start. Oh, that actor from the recent Sarah campaign, someone adds. Yes, so what's her name? A beat of hesitation. Her name is Hui Ra Jong. The name stops Do-hyun cold. The table warms to it instantly. Kids love her. One man's daughter adores her. And she just booked a role in Jun-ho Park's next film. Do-hyun stares at the wall. He's turned Hui Ra down every time she asked. Now, for reasons he can't say out loud, he can't. He asks what everyone thinks. They love her too. Tight budget, but worth it. No helping it then. Good, let's move forward. Woosung Card's new model will be Hui Ra Jong, the one woman guaranteed to walk straight back into his orbit and into I-Yeon's. It starts as an ordinary workday at Woosung Card. Ms. Yu and a friendly coworker settle on army stew for lunch, something warm for the cooling weather. Then the coworker drops a name that stops her cold. Is it okay if Ji-hoo joins us? I heard you two went to college together. Mr. Ji-hoo Aum? She scrambles for an exit, ready to bow out, but the fox arrives before she can. Sorry I'm late. He glides in smooth as ever, blaming crowded elevators. Inside, I-Yeon is unraveling. Why Ji-hoo Eum, of all people? I'm gonna lose it. One thought spirals above the rest. If Do-hyun saw the two of them together, he could get completely the wrong idea. But canceling now would look strange, so she talks herself down. It's just lunch. That reassurance won't survive the hour. For now, the three head out to eat, and the group crowds into a busy stew house. At the table, the coworker keeps things light, thanking Ms. Yu for tracking down a document he'd nearly lost and panicked over. The pot comes to a boil. She serves him first. But Ji-hoo can't resist needling her. When she pointedly hands the coworker all the ham, he sulks. Her reply is ice. You can serve yourself, Mr. Eum. Oblivious to the tension, the coworker asks what they were like in college. Ji-hoo preens, admitting he was a little popular, then twists the knife. Though compared to I-Yeon, it was nothing. She flinches. Behind her polite smile, she's seething. What is this bastard doing? Why is he saying unnecessary things now? She's terrified he'll drag her buried past into the open. So she steers the story herself, forcing brightness. The professors adored her, Ji-hoo offers, painting her as the warm, well-liked one everyone got along with. Then the coworker pivots to business. That's the kind of image we need for our new model, he muses, before asking if she knows Hui Ra Jong. The name knocks the air out of her. Is she our new model? I-Yeon asks carefully. The vice president isn't the one who suggested her, is he? The vice president agreed to go with her, the coworker confirms. I-Yeon covers fast. It's not strange, just unexpected. Inside, the ground shifts under her. The coworker excuses himself to a convenience store and tells the pair to head back first. I-Yeon offers to wait, but he waves her off and goes. Alone at last, Ji-hoo makes his move. Want to grab some ice cream before heading in, I-Yeon? We've got time. She refuses flat. I don't want to be alone with you. When she walks off, he grabs her wrist. Let go, we're at work, she snaps, wrenching free. Then the accusation she's held in for years spills out. You said you'd keep my secret? Lower your voice, I-Yeon. You'll really get caught. He insists he did keep it, that dragging up her past was only a compliment, that she's overreacting over something small. Let's just get along again. She's too stunned to even answer. Forget it, I'm going inside, in the future. But another voice cuts across the sidewalk, cool and deliberate. I didn't know Mr. I-Yeon was promoted to team leader already. Isn't that right, Miss Yu? It's Do-hyun. Mr. An? She gasps. How much did he just hear? Ji-hoo bows and asks if he had a good lunch. Do-hyun's grin is anything but warm. I'd like to say I did, but my mood's not great now. Then the line that turns her cold. Ms. Yu knows why. A jar of candy versus a jealous husband. Guess which one nearly breaks a 2-year marriage? Ms. Yu had only slipped out for army stew with a coworker. But Do-hyun catches them walking back together, and now she's stammering, Mr. An, I can explain. Ji-hoo I-yeon jumps in to smooth it over. I just wanted to clarify she didn't do anything wrong, he says, playing the gallant colleague a little too well. Do-hyun cuts him dead. Can't you see I'm talking to Ms. Yu? Inside, I-yeon groans that the fox has only made everything worse by opening his mouth. She tries once more. Mr. An, please just listen to me, actually. But before she can get the words out, another manager rounds the corner. It's Mr. Kim, cheerful and completely oblivious. Hello, Mr. An, didn't expect to see you here, he says, cracking the standoff wide open. Mr. Kim keeps chattering, unaware of the storm he's standing in. We actually had lunch together today, Mr. I-yeon, Ms. Yu, and me, he explains brightly. So it was just a group lunch all along, army stew with the team. Do-hyun absorbs that with a flat, I see, giving nothing away. He excuses himself with icy courtesy. Let's talk later, Ms. Yu, he says, and the promise lands somewhere closer to a threat. Mr. Kim catches the chill in the air. Something going on? Mr. An didn't look too happy, he wonders aloud. I-yeon deflects, but one thought keeps circling. It's not over yet. The next day at Woo-sung Card, the freeze sets in hard. He hasn't said a word since yesterday, she mutters, certain the misunderstanding was cleared up long ago. Do-hyun breezes right past her desk. Thanks, Ms. Yu, he says, and that stiff, formal name stings her more than silence ever could. She's baffled and a little indignant. Why? What did I do? I didn't do anything wrong, she protests, completely stumped on how to make up with a sulking man. Then it clicks. That's the answer. I'll just talk to him normally, she decides, squares her shoulders and marches straight to his office door. Inside, she holds out a small peace offering. Could you hold out your hand for a sec? She asks, then drops a candy into his palm with a shy little tada. I'm sharing my favorite snack with you, she insists, swearing she never lied about a thing. Do-hyun, half amused now, presses her. Do I really seem that petty to you? She doesn't hold back one bit. Yes, you were sulking all day, she admits. Then quieter, eyes dropping. There's something I wanted to ask. The real question finally spills out. I heard Hui Ra Jong is our new model. Was that decided because of your personal feelings? I'd like an honest answer. He laughs softly and she bristles. Why do you look upset? He asks, leaning in until she goes rigid, silently panicking that a coworker might walk in and get the wrong idea. When she moves to flee, his hand closes around her wrist. Of course not. I didn't suggest her, he says evenly. The decision was made by a majority of the board. Then he flips the entire moment on its head. But more importantly, you still haven't changed your mind? And there it is, everything hanging on one quiet question. Her pulse slams as she grasps exactly what he's asking. At this rate, she thinks, cornered by her own heart, the answer she's been hiding now just one word away. His hand closed on her wrist before she reached the door. You already know, Do-hyun said low, that she was the one who'd shaken him. I-yeon scrambled for cover. This is work, she blurted, edging backward, clutching the folder like it could shield her from the whole conversation. Do-hyun only leaned in closer, unhurried. How many people can just barge into my office? He asked, watching her flush. Besides you, none. She latched onto the word he'd let slip. When she demanded what he meant by being shaken up, her nerve cracked. You're so mean. That's not like you to ask. People can still see us, she pleaded, eyes darting to the corridor. Through the big glass window. His answer wasn't a word. He simply reached past her shoulder. The blinds swept shut in a single motion. "Better?" he asked, calm as still water, and every excuse she'd lined up went blank in her head. He's so forward, like a charging rhino, she thought, palms sweating, pinned between him and the glass. He settled back in, unbothered. Now, where were we? "What did you mean, I-Yeon?" he pressed, refusing to let it drop. She stammered that she wanted to answer him. Honestly, she did, but this position was really, really uncomfortable. So they both straightened up, backs stiff and aching from the lean, and then, quietly, he finally admitted it. "I also wanted to tear that contract to shreds." "Someone wrote a ridiculous clause about having no ulterior motives," he said, a dry smile tugging at his mouth. "That one line got completely under my skin." It cracked something open in her. At last I-Yeon confessed the fear underneath. "I was scared our relationship might change, so I felt I had to hide my feelings from you. But now that I've said it out loud, I feel a little lighter." Do-hyun's expression softened, the coldness gone. He smiled. "Thank you for telling me." When she told him it was time to get up, he refused, gripping her tighter. "I'm still mad," he said, mock-wounded. A snack, he made clear, wouldn't be enough to fix this. "Something more special to you than a snack," he murmured, his voice dropping. "If you want me to stop, just say the word. I'll stop, I promise." She didn't say the word. "This is my first kiss," she whispered, barely breathing. "I doubt that," he answered against her lips, and closed the last of the distance. Afterward, she pouted, cheeks pink, that she felt cheated her real first kiss had happened in a rush like that. Do-hyun just grinned. "We can always reenact it," he offered. Then he paused, his gaze catching on her cheek. "Why does the freckle on your left cheek look lighter than before?" He glanced down. A faint smear had come off onto his hand. That can't be," she covered fast. "My freckles bother me, so I put a little concealer over them." But concealer lightens skin, not darkens a hand, so why was his fingertip smudged? Home that night, Do-hyun fended off his grandfather's endless pressure about grandchildren. "We've got too much energy," he shot back flatly, which earned him an immediate scolding from the old man. But his mind kept circling back to that afternoon. That definitely wasn't concealer, he realized, staring at nothing. I-Yeon's always said her freckles were a complex she hated. He knew her face by heart. He could have named every freckle from memory. Today, though, they'd looked wiped clean, as if a wet towel had passed straight over her skin. His eyes narrowed on a truth he couldn't yet put into words. I-Yeon Yu, he thought, the warmth draining from him. Are you hiding something from me? 2 lattes and a victory lap. Ha-Yul Im has decided that I-Yeon landing Mr. An was entirely her own handiwork, and she'd like it noted for the record. I-Yeon just keeps eating, thanking her around a mouthful of salad, which is about all the reverence Ha-Yul is getting today. One thing nags at Ha-Yul, though. Why confess so fast? Move too quick and the chase loses its thrill, she insists. Love takes strategy, not sincerity. I-Yeon shrugs. She thought it over, made sure it felt right, and told him the truth. Honesty was never the hard part for her. Then comes the gift. Ha-Yul slides a box across the table with the pride of a woman who planned this. I-Yeon lifts the lid and her face drops. A red bra. Ha-Yul is already narrating the payoff. Mr. An, one look, instant nosebleed. I-Yeon shuts the box. She is not wearing it. Not now, not ever, thank you for the effort she never asked for. The laughing settles and I-Yeon finally says the thing sitting under all of it. Mr. An still doesn't know her real face. Ha-Yul nearly drops her cup. He confessed to this version of her? The wig, the glasses, the painted-on freckles? He did. And there's the knot. I-Yeon knows she can't hide forever, knows she should tell him now, and still the words won't come. She's the one deceiving him, and she can't make herself stop. Ha-Yul softens. The reason it's so hard, she says, is that I-Yeon still hasn't made peace with her own face. And it's rare, almost impossible, to find someone who loves you as you actually are, especially buried under all that. From what Ha-Yul has seen, Mr. An might be exactly that man. So try honesty. Better yet, step outside as yourself for once. To prove the point, she proposes photos. I-Yeon balks. Too sudden, no thanks. But Ha-Yul has ammunition. 8 years of friendship and almost nothing to show for it because every picture is a wig and fake freckles. Consider it practice, she says. A chance to get used to the face I-Yeon keeps pretending she doesn't have. Alone with the idea, I-Yeon remembers why she stopped looking. For years, catching her own reflection meant hearing that man's words again. The ones that taught her a pretty face was a thing to be punished for. She's tired of letting the past set the terms. This time, she decides she'll change. One step at a time. She fixes her hair, sets the glasses down, and walks out as herself. And Ha-Yul, waiting outside Studio 9, lights up like she's been proven right about everything. Do I look weird? I-Yeon asks, out of practice at being seen. Not remotely, Ha-Yul says. That beauty never went anywhere. Then she grins. Their reservation's up. Reservation? Ha-Yul booked a real studio. The shoot is warmer than I-Yeon expects. No touch-ups needed, the photographer says, and the shutter starts clicking. It stirs up old memories. The two of them, before the disguise became a permanent thing. Feels good, doesn't it? Ha-Yul says. It does. I-Yeon says it out loud. She doesn't want to keep clutching the past. She wants to be brave now. Thank you, Ha-Yul. Then her phone rings. A coworker, apologetic for calling on her day off. A client file I-Yeon organized never made it to Mr. An, and now it's urgent. Could she hand it over herself? Director Choi is arriving, no time to explain. Sorry, I owe you one. Click. I-Yeon stares at the phone. Of all the days to be caught looking exactly like herself. Ha-Yul naturally sees destiny. A golden chance, dropped in her lap by a workplace nuisance. Go find Mr. An. Tell him you're I-Yeon Yu, that you're sorry, that you had your reasons. I-Yeon's stomach knots. It's too sudden, she isn't ready. Then when? Ha-Yul presses. When's the next time she'll ever look like this? At least go say hello. Call it practice. So she goes. Standing outside Woosung Card in her real skin, she takes the safer route, a text instead of a face. Something came up. She sent the documents with a friend. Everything's sealed and taped, nothing to worry about. Inside, Mr. An reads it and stops on one word. A friend? The doors part. Are you Mr. An? He turns, and there she is, in front of the man who has never once seen this face. Hello. For half a second she nearly says it. I'm Yeon-i, then swallows it. He probably doesn't even remember the party. Safer to stay a stranger. She holds out the envelope. She's here on I-Yeon's behalf, just delivering the documents. He takes them slowly. A friend, huh? He says. I was wondering who it might be, and then he just looks. Longer than a stranger should be looked at. The polite little smile stays on I-Yeon's mouth while everything behind it goes quiet. Did he recognize me? He won't stop looking at her. Not a glance. Not the flat once-over he hands everyone in that office. A steady, unhurried attention she has never once seen him aim at a living soul, and she'd bet the job on it. I-Yeon clutches the file to her chest and swallows. Standing here as herself, bare-faced in front of the man who married the other version of her, might be the single dumbest thing she has ever talked herself into. She slides the documents across. Straight from I-Yeon, she says, untouched. Didn't peek. There's a small deranged brilliance to it, filing a report on her own plain self, in the third person, to the husband who confessed to that exact plain self last week. We've met, he says. The Yong-sin party. Yeon-i, wasn't it? He even catches the changed hairstyle, tells her she looks a little different. It was a 5-minute hello months ago, and he has kept every frame of it, and each detail he produces lands like another small mine underfoot. Sorry about that night, he adds. I was rude. She waves it off, already drifting toward the door. Thanks for today, I'll head out first. Privately, she knows the rude one was her. The woman who coughed up a fake name and bolted with his puppy in her arms. He stops her with a favor. He'd meant to ask Ms. Yu, he says, but she couldn't make it, and a meeting ran late on his account, so he wants to bring the team something by way of apology. Snacks for 8. Could she grab them? He'll make it up to her. He is asking a beautiful stranger to run the errand he'd assigned his secretary, who is standing directly in front of him, and who happens to know exactly what those execs like to eat. Upstairs, he sets the spread down like the whole thing was his idea. The execs melt. Good taste, they tell him. None of the rice puffin' bean jelly stuff people push on old men. The desserts are from the place they already love. 5 Americanos, 3 lattes, and he even remembered Mr. Kim and Mr. Choi don't touch Americano. He nods along, gracious, until his easy ha-ha catches in his throat, because that last part he did not know. Yoni did. And he's smiling. Not the shut, formal line she photocopies beside all day, a real one, wide and unguarded, thrown at a woman he met 20 minutes ago. So he smiles at other women like that, she thinks. The man who confessed to her, glowing at a stranger. The stranger is her. Somehow that fixes nothing at all. Out on the street, she realizes his company card is still in her hand, the one that paid for the snacks. But that smile. Grateful or not, was that really the same man who told her how he felt 2 weeks back? She wants to throw something and couldn't tell you why. It's nothing, she decides. Maybe she's the one coming apart. She catches him on his way out. Mr. An. Ms. I-Yeon Yu, he says. Here you are? Like he'd half expected her. She waited, she admits, still had his card. He huffs a quiet laugh. Honestly, he says, I figured you hadn't gone yet. She goes still. He knew she'd wait? He still owes her that thank you. Dinner then? No, she blurts, definitely, while the back of her skull howls about him offering dinner to some other woman. Is that a yes or a no? He asks, enjoying this. A no. She helped him out, sure, but he doesn't need to go this far, and if whining strangers he just met is simply how he operates, she'd rather sit this one out. But we've met, he says, easy as breathing. How else would I know your name? Fine, he says. If she's that firm, he'll let it go, but at least let him drive her home. That's fair, isn't it? She's fresh out of arguments. She gets in the car. She has never once watched him be like this with a woman. It honestly looked like he didn't want to let her go. Her stomach picks that exact moment to growl. Hush, she begs it. I am mid-catastrophe here. He glances over, clocks the thin dress, holds out his jacket. She refuses. He says it'd put him at ease. Kind again for no reason on earth. This man, she thinks, taking it with both hands, is going to be the end of her. Almost there, he says. Funny, she lives so close to him. What a coincidence. It is not a coincidence, it is the same penthouse 2 floors apart. She'll have him stop at some building down the block and walk the rest. Another night, another secret agent exit through the lobby. He's been somewhere else all evening, something working behind his eyes. Work, maybe, or Yonai. And there's the quiet thing that's been turning in her chest since that smile. She'd let herself believe the warmth was hers alone, the plain secretary he picked. Now she's watched him chase a beautiful stranger down a hallway, feed her, drape a jacket over her shoulders, and she wonders if she read the whole thing wrong, hoped for far too much. Never once clocking that the stranger breaking her heart tonight is her own reflection.
And that's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed this recap and want to see what happens next, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss the upcoming parts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm reading everything, and your support really helps this channel grow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.